And we are live. I have Emily Youcis, creator at Alfred Alfer and many other animations. How you doing today?
Oh, Mr. Hellbent, I'm doing just absolutely splendid. Holy shit.
Glad to hear it. Always good to have you on.
Oh, it's good to be back. How long's it been?
Oh, geez, it's been months. This entire thing's gone crazy. This is the first actual interview I've done, so I'm glad to have you as my first subject.
Oh, shit! Oh, oh my god, yeah, my head's all the way big on this thing. Awesome.
Yeah, we just got a nice
Awesome.
big picture here. Maybe we'll get me
Great,
on there in the
great.
future, but I think for now the screen should be reserved for you.
We don't want to spoil
The mystique.
yeah, the image. Don't want to disappoint the kids.
No.
Not yet.
All right, well, let's go and get things started. So what's your current project, Emily?
Well, the current thing I have been working on since the New Year started is the next segment of the Alfred Alfer movie. And as you know, I'm about a third of the way in, maybe a little bit over a third. I think I'm about a half hour in. I plan it to be around a minute and 15 minutes total in the end. So I'm putting out the next segment, a 7.5 minute long segment. That's a lot. That's a big cartoon. That's a big boy.
Yeah, for
So
a single animator, that's outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just put out like a minute and a 15-second long cartoon, and there you go, that's it. And like 45 seconds of it is just the plugs at the end, like the little Patreon link. So it's like a 30-second long cartoon, and then 45 seconds of oh, check me out here, check out my links,
Yeah. Well, you got to pad out those outros. YouTube is brutal on animators.
You do. I should exploit the outros a little more. But
Oh, yeah.
it's just me doing it, so it's like, who am I gonna plug? It's just me. I guess the Patreon, like, do it!
Well, sometimes you got to plug yourself.
Oh yeah, well that's what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. That's what I do.
Woo!
But yeah, woo, laddies. But yeah, I just put out the trailer for it, so it's actually, I'm so happy I did this trailer. I'm always like getting down on myself, like, come on, Emily, go faster. But I really like the speed and the timing that this has been coming out, because as you know, it's aligned with the political events that have been going on, and it's due to launch during the election, the big election, the erection.
The
So
election that will destroy America.
Oh, it's going to make America great. Well, it could go either way. And I am doing my best with this cartoon to ensure that America does not get destroyed and reach as many kids as possible. But I got to get it out. I got to get it out soon. I'm planning for at the end of October. So.
That's a really strict deadline for one person.
Yeah, well, I only have about a minute and 45 seconds to go out of the whole thing. So, it's always that last minute and 45 seconds that's just like dragging a fucking ball and chain. I mean, honestly, I could have had it all done by now, but I mean, shit's been going down. There's been a lot of shit going on. It's been a whirlwind of a year. And but I like the pace that's going out, and now I put out this amazing new trailer, and I'm so happy I got to do it because it includes, well, the actual cartoon is to a Bach piece. Passion by Bach. Have you ever watched Casino? You know Casino, right?
Yeah. Everybody should watch that
Yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah, that's a classic, genius. It's my favorite Scorsese film. But at the beginning, when the car blows up, when he's like, what the fuck does he say? He's like, don't trust anyone or some shit. Oh yeah, never give anyone the key to your heart. I don't know what the fuck he says. But then the car blows up, and then that beautiful music starts. And it's like, when I first heard that song, I was like, oh, my heart. And so that has the first 7 minutes of the Bach Passion song, which is 3 hours long. Oh, wait, no, sorry. It has the last 7 minutes. Casino has the last 7 minutes, and my cartoon that I'm putting out has the first 7 minutes. The first 7 minutes. It's glorious. It's glorious. And then for the trailer, I got to use another little Bach piece that is absolutely orgasmic. I can't recite it off my head. It's a bunch of numbers, but we're gonna put the trailer out in the chat for the kids. You want me to do that?
Yeah, go ahead and get started on that, and I'll just mention some of your work now. I first found Emily on YouTube, but I remember seeing her cartoons way back in the day on Newgrounds, back when I was a little bit, well, I took animation for granted, so I'm like, that's a fun cartoon, move on to the next one. And the first one I saw was The Rise of Alfred.
That's still, I think, could be my best work. Even though I made that when I was 16. 10 years ago. Woo!
When I was 16, I wasn't doing jack shit. But when I watched that one, well, something I noticed in your cartoons is that while they do have a lot of psychological elements to them, there tends to be these political elements jammed in there, you know, kind of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich of psychology and politics.
That's the best combination, dude. You can't have politics without psychology, and you can have psychology without politics, but I like to focus on the psychology of the collective, which I think is politics. It gets political. And people are fucking mentally ill these days with politics. People are going absolutely insane. This whole election has been bringing out the insanity of humanity. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing case study.
Oh yeah, we see less sane people in media than sane people. Well, less sane people on the streets these days than sane people. Being sane is abnormal now.
Oh fuck! I can't post the trailer link in your chat because it says remove. I gotta remove the web address. So how the fuck are we gonna get?
Hold on. I got a couple of technical things I need to go over real quick. So.
All right. Yeah.
Technical difficulties are always abound. I gotta turn down the bitrate here, and I will mod you in the chat so you can post that link. But give me just a brief moment.
Okay. Oh look, it's Pika Petey. What's up, my dude? A good friend Petey, a very great animator. I hung out with him in at the Newgrounds party. We got good and drunk. Thank you, Alana, for posting my channel. And I'm gonna try and post my trailer now.
Just say hi in the chat, then I'll mod you, and then you can post any links.
Hey, hey guys, hey.
There you are.
He loves the answer.
And you have been
nope.
crowned.
Nope. Oh, there it goes. Guys, click the link by Alfred Alfer. That's my new MAGA Alfred Alfer trailer for the segment that I'm about to put out. But anyway, yeah, let's get back to the Rise of Alfred. I love discussing that one.
Me too. Let's see. This is all good. YouTube's giving me some business right now. That's to be expected, though. Everybody seems... I don't know. It says bad. I don't know. Everybody else seems to be doing fine, though. So let's move forward. The Rise of Alfred.
Yes.
Now, in that cartoon, I noticed there's a lot of political things in there. Have your views changed since then? Is there anything in there that you don't quite adhere to now?
Well, that's the crazy thing, Mr. Hellbent, is my cartoons have always been political. The first cartoon I ever did, Osama Gets Low, was about George Bush. It was to the song Get Low by Little John. I did it when I was 14 years old. It was my very first Flash cartoon. And it was, Alfred and Fat Dog rapping, and George Bush was in there, Saddam was in there, and I remember the big joke was that Saddam loved Doritos. Do you remember that? That was like what all the, like Conan O'Brien and Jay Leno, all they would joke about is how much Saddam liked the Doritos.
Oh,
you remember that? They were like,
back.
That's
Saddam loved Doritos, and he was buying all the PlayStations 2s up. He's the original MLG.
Yeah, and that was just like the big joke. Saddam likes Doritos. And so, of course, I had him like in bed with the Doritos, making love with the Doritos. And then I had Osama in there, and he had a turban and some bling and like some sunglasses. He was smoking a joint. And then it like in one of the shots, it went over to the couch, and George Bush, Osama bin Laden, and Saddam were all sitting together smoking weed. And at the time, I didn't know that they were all like on the same, like in the same people. But now I know that they worked with George Bush and America to cause 9/11, and they were on the same page. So they were probably doing a lot of drugs together. So that was accurate even at 14. And then, of course, I had a lot of other cringy mid-2000 memes like Napoleon Dynamite and Michael Jackson. That was a big one. So yeah, that was my first one. That was pretty political. And then 2 cartoons later was the Nazi-Soviet Non-Aggression Pact, and you've seen that one, haven't you?
Yep. You have a very interesting... It's hard to put it into words, though. That's the thing. It's one of those things to where, as a viewer, you watch it, but you got to really rewatch them. And I noticed that about your cartoons, they hold up really well to multiple viewings because you see things. You maybe need to go on Google a little bit and research a little bit about Gaddafi or Saddam or these other people and figure it out a little bit. You don't get that too much in animation these days. Not just independent, but mainstream especially. It's usually just ham-fisted.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. All the animators all they do is like Pokemon. No offense, Petey, but most of them do just Pokemon parodies or parodies about other things and about games. And I want cartoons with substance. I want them to be about things that are actually going on. Cartoons are a good distraction, or they're good entertainment, but we need to still be aware of the world around us. And I like a cartoon with substance. I like something that ties into reality. So anyway, this Nazi-Soviet non-aggression pact, speaking of true events, is, well, we start out in it's Barry White's song. Ooh, you know that one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it shows Hitler, and he's like, what's he doing? Oh, he's just there in his bikini with little... Here, let me pull it up. I'll just watch it right now, because I even forget. But anyway, I did this one when I was 16. Nazi-Soviet non-aggression.
Yeah, I'm happy to admit when I saw The Rise of Alfred, the only reference I got was Hitler. Then I had to look it up a little bit, then I started putting the pieces together. So yeah, the Nazi-Soviet non-aggression treaty.
Oh, here it is. So here we go. Barry White, Hitler's in his lingerie, and then we see Stalin, and he's over on the other side. He unbuttons his robe, all the hair pops out, and Hitler's like, baby, keep on. And Stalin's like, ooh, you got it together, baby. Right on. Or keep on doing it. And so, Hitler just takes off the lingerie and starts rubbing his body, and Stalin finally takes everything off, and he's completely covered in hair, and then Hitler rips off his lingerie, and he has a swastika bikini, and he turns around, and on the back of his panties it says detonate Soviet missile, and Kim Jong-il is in there too, hanging like in a rubber suit, hanging from some clamps with his nipples. And then Stalin puts his big furry dick into Hitler, and that was when I was 16, so it wasn't when I went full graphic, like with Eat My Rotten Meats, so it was just insinuated that it went in there. There wasn't actually any penetration in the animation.
Well, we all have vivid imagination, so sometimes what you don't see can be more vulgar. But in your case, you tend to really hit the nail on the head when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I think you'll surprise more people than not when it comes to the erotic side of animation.
Oh, you mean you said I didn't hit the nail on the head with vulgarity?
I said you do. You do. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, really? I'm like,
turn it up, huh? Turn it up a little bit more.
I hate to use the E word, but I am a bit of an edgelord, and I've always been an edgelord. But I've never considered myself that until I started posting Eat My Rotten Meat, like on F, because I'm the queen of F. And that's been known for a while. And the Flashboard. And so I would post Eat My Rotten Meat, and they were like, what kind of autistic, edgy 12-year-old made this? And I made that when I was 21, 22. So, and I'm not saying I'm not autistic. I probably am. I'm definitely somewhere on the spectrum. Too many people seem...
We all got a little bit of autism, don't we?
Oh, yeah. But then they were just like, oh, she's so edgy. And I just remember when I first heard that word apply to me, it just kind of broke my heart, or just... It trivialized everything I do, because I don't do the stuff that I do to be edgy. I do the stuff that I do because it's a reflection of reality, and reality is edgy. Reality is the most fucked up thing you can think of. It's more fucked up than any sort of a fiction. It gets more fucked up as you go down the hole, and I'm merely just reflecting that out through my cartoons. It's what I have to do.
Speaking of reality...
Yeah.
So you've stirred up quite a bit of political fun lately. Most creators kind of shy away from politics in fear of being blacklisted. What inspired you to go out there and speak your mind?
Well, that's the thing. My content's always been political, and it's only now that this election that I actually started giving a shit about what was going on around me instead of focusing on the old politics. And all this stuff that I've been saying over the years has been coming true. For instance, in Alfred's Playhouse, the playhouse is a metaphor for the safe space, like completely dead on. Do you want me to recite the words?
Absolutely.
All right. So for all you kids in the chat, you know about these fucking safe spaces, right? These this shit the liberals do, where they can't handle reality and they can't handle words, so they go la 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 la, and they run to their safe space and they play with cards and Play-Doh and stuff and shit like that. So in Alfred's Playhouse in 2007, I perfectly described the safe space, the Playhouse. So it starts out, and it's to the Pee-wee's Playhouse thing. Get out of bed, but don't wonder how the blood got there. If Steve Martin violated you in your sleep again, you will not care. Because there's a place you can escape to mentally, where only silliness is making forced entry, for the purpose of self-preservation, here at Alfred's Playhouse. And it keeps going. It's a fantasy world of fun, where reality is distorted. Where a man-child goes to forget he was unsuccessfully aborted. It's kind of like liquor. Your perception is changed like magic, so you can flee when the real world causes havoc. It's wacky denial! Here at Alfred's Playhouse. And then it goes on, Stalin sign and death lists, and so, you know, even back then I knew that communism was or the safe space was a symptom of communism, this leftist propaganda of censorship. And this was before any of this came into light, at least from what I knew. When I was talking about communism, I thought it was just a faraway little funny thing that a couple idiots were talking about here and there. I didn't actually think that it was going to be a threat in America, because I would read books on Trotsky, and I actually loved Trotsky. That's when you say how have your politics changed. I never ever was a communist. In fact, I always made fun of them, but I did have a massive crush on Leon Trotsky when I was 17. Massive crush.
I didn't know whether or not your politics have changed or not. I was just kind of curious, because I'll be honest, a lot of it goes whoosh, right over my head.
Well, they have, in the fact that I had absolutely no clue about politics when I did those cartoons, at least current day politics. The most I heard was, you know, the garbage media. I was just interested in researching the old days, you know, Hitler, Stalin, other dictators. I was obsessed with dictators. And I was obsessed with the Bolshevik Revolution, and I read this book, The Hidden Hitler, about how Hitler was gay, and he had little Jugendfreunds, and he would go fuck them in the hay in the barn. Yeah. There was this beautiful scene. It was like straight out of a romance novel where Hitler was going around the countryside, the Adolf with his little Jugendfreund, and they were romping along the fields, and suddenly a rainstorm happened. So they saw this barn and they ran in there, and then it insinuated that they had sex. Wild, passionate Nazi sex.
Ooh. Und scheißen Puppen, ja.
Mein anus, oh, you know what? I could pull out some of my old, fun little Hitler sketches, because I used to write sketches about Hitler when I was a 16-year-old girl.
Oh yeah, bring him out.
Yeah, and let me get this clear. In no way was I worshiping Hitler or anything like that. It was before I heard that the Holocaust may be a lie. I don't think it was a lie, but there's theories that it is, and I would just make fun of him. I thought he was the funnest one to make fun of. If anything, I like wanted to like bang like Stalin, and I was more into the communists actually, unfortunately. But now it's just the complete opposite. I can't. If someone says they're even remotely socialist, it's just like, ooh, insta-bona kill. Goodbye. You know. I like straight nationalists. And I love capitalism. Oh, I just love capitalism. And you get so many kids here like, fuck capitalism. Oh, fuck capitalism. And then they're on their iPhones and shit. And you know, how many Bernie bros did I talk to at the DNC who said they hated capitalism? And then they're like, hey, you want to go over to the CVS? I'm thirsty. Yeah.
Let me get my $9 latte so I can come out to this protest and fight capitalism. I hate it so much.
Exactly. Let's go to this. Oh man, fuck capitalism. Oh, but I'm hot and I'm thirsty, so let's go walk down to the CVS. Thank God they have like 2-for-1 energy drinks, you know.
Well, that's the thing about dictators and these political figures. When you're growing up and you're learning about them, they're pretty much just cartoon characters because you don't know the history or anything behind it. You just see this funny guy with the mustache and the Hugo Boss costume, and it's like he's gonna fight Captain America or some shit. But then when you start learning about it, it gets even more interesting down the line. And sometimes the stuff that you kind of put on them as a child turns out to be fairly accurate. So sometimes being misinformed isn't necessarily being wrong. It's just you don't quite know yet.
No, exactly. That's exactly what it is like. And I think back then when I made those cartoons, I knew subliminally that communism was going to be a threat. Why the fuck would I use so much communist subliminal messages in my cartoons? And I didn't do it to like put communist subliminal messages and to try and get people to be commies, obviously. I was doing it because that's what I thought they did in the media. But I didn't actually think they did. I said, wouldn't it be so funny if the media just put communist subliminal messages in our commercials and everything this whole time? Wouldn't it be hilarious? And then now I know that of course they have, and that cultural Marxism has been rigorously enforced throughout the years. And I'm like, oh my god, it's all coming true. It's all coming true.
It's really odd how things fall together like that. Scary, but odd. I'm trying to remain somewhat politically neutral because I'm looking to hear what you had to think about it. So,
yeah.
Let's talk about that rally you stirred up.
Okay. The DNC, you mean?
Yeah. Tell us about that real quick. I want to get on that. Then we'll get back to animation a little bit. I don't want to keep it too far on this, but that was
No, please, because I've been blowing up in this realm in the political community, which I've been like fantasizing about for as long as since I discovered it, which was earlier this year. And I first started following in the election. And once you start following that shit, you cannot stop. You get addicted, and now I'm just on the news site that I go to, the board. I refresh it and I refresh it and I refresh it all day, every day, for hours and hours, for months, and I can't stop. And then it gets down to the end of the night, and I'm still like, more, and I have like 50 tabs open with each little like thing from this board, and I'm there like burnt out in the middle of the night, and then like it gets more exciting in the middle of the night because then all the spooky stuff comes up, and like all the X shit, like aliens and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, because that was how I got involved into this in the first place. Was I was really into the Illuminati and conspiracy theories, and I couldn't get enough. And then I realized that these conspiracy theories were actually true. Surprised, like a lot of them were. And I remember like back in the day when who was the guy, Creationist Cat, like just basically saying that anyone who believes in any conspiracy theory is like an idiot and shit. And at that point I was still thinking, oh, maybe it isn't true, but now I know that most of this shit is actually true, like what the stuff that Alex Jones is, and that's why he's been blowing up more than ever recently, is because he's been knowing what's been going on for a few decades now, and now people are actually starting to wake up, and this election has been bringing it all to the surface.
One thing I really liked about that conversation is while you keep true to your values, you will listen to other people. So you don't block people out just for disagreeing with you. You take in both sides. A lot of people who fall too far to one or the other don't do that. And one thing about being a skeptic is you can be completely closed-minded by being a skeptic by saying everything that everybody else says is wrong. No, you gotta take it in. You can hate Alex Jones' guts, but if he says something that's true and you say, no, it's Alex Jones who said it that's wrong, then you're actively just blocking out knowledge. You got to be open to that kind of stuff. That's why I liked having you and Creationist Cat on. It was a fun conversation because of that. Unfortunately, you can't always open up everybody's minds. You know how that goes. Some people are...
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I'm glad that we're here just with us in this little thing.
Yeah,
because you're not like, what, you fucking idiot, don't say that shit.
I think it's good to keep an open conversation, or else you'll never learn anything. And another thing is, if you separate your friends by political beliefs, you'll have a very narrow group of friends, and it's just boring to me. I don't want everybody to agree with me.
Mine sure has been narrowing ever since I came out about all this, let me tell you. I mean, I've been losing fans out the wazoo. Oh yeah, that's the one thing I really wanted to get into was my loss of some of my fans. And people have actually, I've gotten shit on Facebook, like a message, and they've been like, hey, listen, I can't handle your xenophobia, and I can't handle your you're like racist shit, so I don't think I can talk to you anymore. And by xenophobia, what they're referring to is my complete and utter intolerance of Islam, which is a religion inherently tied to an extremely violent and oppressive political system called Sharia law. For the kids in the chat that don't know, because I know you have a lot of kids in your chat, right?
There's a few. They're cool kids though. They're
oh,
on
yeah.
the level.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't know about Sharia law when I was a kid. I just found out, but yeah. I mean, it's a system that encourages generational abuse. Child abuse is extremely normal and public. Women are controlled. You can rape a woman in the street, and it's perfectly okay. You can murder gays, and just Google the maps. Gay murder rates, where it's legal to punish gays by death, and all the Muslim countries will come up. Wow, what a coincidence! But then now all these liberals saying, oh no, it's a total coincidence. Nothing has anything to do with the other. But no. And I used to tiptoe around that now, but there's no way that I'm going to tolerate a religion that encourages pedophilia and marriage of children as young as 6. So go ahead and call me a racist, even though Islam isn't a race, kiddos. Go ahead and call me it. And so yeah, but I've been getting hate mail for forever. People have hated me for years, and that's why this has all just been so fun for me, because I'm used to it. I've been used to it for a while. But usually my fans are extremely loyal, but even my loyalist fans now, some have dropped out. And there's this one blog specifically on Tumblr called Alfers. And if you're listening right now, I really hope you are, sweetie. I don't think they're old enough to vote. They don't seem like it is, but they...
even if they were, they wouldn't leave their house, so...
Yes. Oh, here, let me pull up the screen cap, actually, exactly what they said. But now on the blog it says, this was an Alfred Alfer blog, but Emily Youcis is a bad person now, so fuck this.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that funny? And let me pull up this thing. Let me pull it up.
Listen, I really love what you do, and your cartoons make me really happy, but I know that you as a person hold certain beliefs, so now everything that you did that entertained me is now no longer entertaining. What the fuck?
Okay, All right, here we go. Okay, so I have it here. It says, on definite hiatus. This was an Alfred Alfer blog, but Emily Youcis is a bad person, so NVM. And it has 3 pictures from my new trailer where Alfred's in front of the American flag. It says, now that's what I call edgy. Alfred Alfer confirmed to be an absolute joke. Why is anyone even supporting her anymore? Emily still supports Trump? 2 question marks? For some reason? 2 question marks? And I notice these liberals like to use a lot of fucking question marks. They really like to end their sentences in questions.
Well, the more punctuation you use, the more correct you are. That's how the internet works, Emily. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. It really drives the point across, trust me. So then it says, she fucked up her own media by putting it in a not even really relating to Alfred direction? The fuck does politics have to do anything with a mentally ill dog? Well, politics have a lot to do with the mentally ill, and this stuff that I'm hearing here is a symptom of mentally ill. I mean, actually, this person does admit that they are mentally ill on this blog, so I guess that makes sense. Liberalism is a mental illness, guys. At least the kind that denies free speech and ignores facts, science, and biology. That is the playhouse. That is what I've been warning about for years. The fantasy world of fun where reality is distorted, where a man-child goes to forget he was unsuccessfully aborted. Your perception has changed like magic, so you can flee when the real world causes havoc. It's wacky denial here at Alfred's Playhouse. This is exactly what I've been warning about. Anyway, it says, in this year of 2016, people are still being anti-Semitic and making Holocaust jokes? Here's what I don't get. I have been making Holocaust jokes for years. Have you seen The Rise of Alfred?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And that's a perfect example. Where he does the cheeseburger holocaust in the backyard. He goes on a maniac rampage. He takes the golf club and he starts smashing all the hamburgers. And then it shows Hitler and he's like, ah ha ha! And he keeps on smashing. And then it was like, ah ha ha! And then he's just rolling around in these hamburgers, bashing the shit out of them. And then it has the McDonald's characters, the big purple thing and the duck girl, and they're doing like the classic Jew dance.
Yeah.
Dum dum dum. And so this continues on, and then Hitler starts like masturbating to some bagels that he set on fire, and
smoking a cigarette, yeah.
Right. So this was 2006. So I've been doing this for over a decade. These jokes, and then and the last bullet point is I regret the time and emotions I put onto this media. And then the tag is hashtag I just wanted one character canonly with DID. What? First of all, what the fuck does canon mean? What does that mean? You know what that means?
It's a fictional character, so you know that it's not a real thing. Alfred's not going to jump out of the monitor and go, "I relate to you. Give me huggies, yay!" It's never going to happen with any cartoon character. Yeah, it's totally okay to relate to a character, but here's one solid piece of advice, and I'm trying to be an interviewer and be impartial, but you bring this out of me.
Please,
if you don't like a certain character or a certain media, there's always the option to make your own.
Exactly.
You can make your own doggy. You can make your own character that has DID or whatever and do that way. If you're just going to sit there and consume media all day long and complain about it, okay, that's your opinion. But
exactly.
At the end of the day, you're a joke. I hate to say it. I don't like attacking any kind of audience because I view it as futile. But at the end of the day, yeah, if all you can do is complain and don't create, then you're never going to get what you want. You're going to be sitting there forever.
Yep. And that's why I made my cartoons, because I was like, I'm sick of all these dog cartoons that don't have any really good Hitler jokes. So I made my own. And it says
they should be admiring you because you're doing what they could do to have what they want. They should be following your example.
Make your own character, dude. This is my cartoon. These people are acting like I owe them something. I owe them a specific storyline that my creativity has to follow in line with what they want. That's the most retarded shit I've ever heard. Anyway, then they also hashtag bigotry, hashtag Alfred Alfer. I'm like, okay. So finally, we got a question here by Anonymous. Ask this blog. Are you legit angry about Emily's recent stuff? No offense, but the shows always use political stuff as a backdrop. Alfred was never above Trumpisms and Holocaust jokes, or really any and every kind of offensive thing you can think of. Pretty much. You nailed it. You nailed it on the head, kid. You nailed it on the head. I mean, have you seen Eat My Rotten Meat? It's pretty much just every offensive thing that you can think of rolled into one cartoon. There's rape. There's bestiality. There's shit about trans people. I have nothing against trans people at all, but they have a shot where Alfred is chopping off his dick, and the song goes, it's like cut a hole in your balls, and suddenly you're a new gender or something, which is what they think is what happens.
Well,
I think
that's a
you can't point it out.
That's a complex thing to where no matter what side you take, somebody's gonna want you dead over it.
Oh yeah, it's very common. It's very complex, and you can't. It's like you can't even point out that they cut off their dick, which they do, or else I'm like transphobic, and I'm like, but that's what you do. You chop off your dick. I'm just saying it. But there's plenty more offensive stuff.
Well, the thing about offensive stuff is that it's completely okay to be offended about anything. When you cross the line is when you start telling people what's okay and what's not okay to create. If Emily does something offensive, by all means be offended. If I do something offensive, be offended. Click that dislike button. Make an angry comment. I don't mean comments. There's no such thing as a mean comment. It's just words on the internet. But make your voice heard. But on the same end, let people make what they want to make. There's nothing wrong with that.
And let me just get this clear. I have trans friends. I have been in a competition in Taboo, this gay nightclub called Miss Everything, where I competed with a bunch of drag queens. And drag queens aren't trans people, but there were a couple trans people, and they were awesome people. They were fucking cool people. I love hanging out with them. I love all kinds of different people. But when it gets to the point where you can't even have discussion about the subject without somebody flipping shit, then that's where I have the problem. But a lot of the people that I've talked to that are trans have been really cool about having an open discussion about it. So that's all I ask for.
Well, here's the deal with that in politics in general. The people on the far fringes are the ones who get the most attention. So, and this goes with religion too in all of this. There's a huge section of moderate people that don't get any attention because they don't stir any shit. The people on the fringe edge kind of decide what's offensive, what's not offensive, what should go, what should not go. And it kind of corrupts people's minds because they see that and they think that's the norm. No, if you get your feet out there and get out there, you will learn a lot about people that you never thought was true. At least you wouldn't know that it's true from what the internet and the media tells you. And that's just the sad truth of that.
And anyway, that question that they asked about, no offense, but this shows, but Emily's stuff has always used political stuff and has never been above any sort of a joke. Which, yes, true. So this person replies with this Alfred blog. There has been political stuff, but it's never been so disgustingly there? Question mark. Why do they do that? Why do they have to end everything with fucking question marks? Early stuff there was like ... Rise of Alfred. Yes, the whole thing was about a dog who seized power by becoming manager of a fast food restaurant, imagined himself as a dictator, and purged all of his employees and had a cheeseburger holocaust. Pretty political. Yeah. Anyway, but and then it says, but then there was a period of time where there wasn't so much political. Alfred's big surprise, I remember you. There was some political in Return to the Playhouse, but not that much. Okay? Fine. It doesn't have to be all the time. Then this person says, I'm angry because it was going in a direction of developing Alfred's character rather than everything being Trump/political. And honestly, as a mentally ill person, it's hard to find a character you can relate to, and it kind of hurts to have them get fucked over like that. All right. Now here's where I get really confused. Because Alfred Alfer has been fucked over in every single way imaginable. He's been molested, he's been raped, he's been sodomized with a popsicle. He's been, yeah, how much worse can you get than that? I mean, everything involved in this story is about the horrible struggles of Alfred Alfer. So, for them to say it hurts to have them fucked over like that, now that I'm, like, suddenly involving Trump. If you're saying Trump is worse than abuse and getting sodomized, then I think that's a little fucked up. I think there's a little bit more you need to consider.
Yeah, well, so, when it comes down to that kind of thing, people tend to exaggerate on the internet a lot. It's how you get attention for the most part, and unfortunately, that's what happens when you make controversial cartoons. And I hate to call it controversial because you're just giving your opinion. What's so controversial about a person speaking, right?
Everything I have done in my work has been controversial. That's my entire work, and so to this person, I'm saying, if you're offended and if you can't handle this shit, then Alfred Alfer was never for you. If you can't handle offensive jokes or touchy subject matter, you probably shouldn't be a fan. And I don't know how you became one in the first place, honestly. And you know what? I know what it is. It's because the PC shit has gotten so out of control that you can like the same, stuff that I put out in 2007 is now like so much worse if you do the same thing now. And these kids have been brainwashed with this cultural Marxism. It's gotten absolutely out of control. Absolutely out of control. And, especially nowadays. So this A. Alfers person, let me tell you something. Do yourself a favor. Either delete your blog, find another character to get canonly fixated on, okay? Whatever the fuck that means. Because Alfred Alfer was, the point of Alfred's Playhouse was to confront reality, to not escape, to look at the facts, look at the harsh truths, look at the uncomfortable aspects of life, and not to escape into your safe space. It's warning about the safe space, because when you go in your safe space, you end up getting fucked over worse than all. Because as you know, when you don't confront your problems, they end up biting you in your ass 10 times harder.
Exactly.
Right?
If you don't look at the other side and try to empathize with the other side, even if you don't try to look at their points, then you'll never know what they're talking about, and you can find yourself on the wrong side really easily that way. And it's not about the right or the wrong side, it's just about knowledge. If you want to block off knowledge and experience in your life, that's your choice, but I would advise against it. And I think that's kind of where the Alfred, I would hate to say that's the point of the cartoon, because it's really up to you, but I think a lot of that does come into look at the reality. This isn't nice. This is bad.
Alfred's Playhouse, that's what the entire cartoon's about. That's why all of this stuff that's been coming out has been like the craziest shit, because it's like all this stuff in Alfred's Playhouse is coming true. Like at the end of the cartoon, it basically is saying take the red pill or the blue pill. Dictator Alfred shows up after Alfred spirals into a self-pity frenzy. which is what these liberals like to do. They love pity. The communists love pity. And, you know, there's the scene in Alfred's Playhouse Part 2 when he's about to cut himself, and he's going, Alfred needs love, boys and girls. Alfred needs love. Alfred needs pity. And then it shows this shot and his eyes are rolling back in his head and it's like, pity, like he's orgasming from it. And then the communist, the sickle and hammer pops up a few times. And I didn't fucking, like, this wasn't conscious to me. I didn't think communism has to do with pity. I didn't think that consciously. I think it was just so, I don't know. A lot of what the best work that I do is often subconscious, and that's what I think. You know, now that it's all becoming conscious, and I'm really finding out about this, I hope my work doesn't like suffer from it. But you know, I think, well, like I said, knowledge is truth. Is gonna help you in the end. So I'm glad this is all coming to the front. Anyway, so then he starts cutting his leg up, and he's like, and it has Stalin and Lenin, it shoots to a picture of him, and they're like, oh, and then this globe starts jerking off, and I'm like, holy shit! It's like, this is like a metaphor for the globalist communism. Just going into this, like the cutting leg, the hole that he keeps digging into, is a metaphor for cultural Marxism. You know what I mean? Just
yeah.
like
now that you explained it, it helps me out a lot. See, when I watched it, the political stuff didn't hit me as hard. I got the pity part. Because I remember being an edgy teen and being like, man, it really feels good when people feel sorry for me. I better go get in some more trouble.
I know, and that's what cultural Marxism is all about, is people feeling sorry for people. Is like, oh, I am a disabled woman, whatever, you know, then they try and name everything they can to make them look disadvantaged. And that's what they get off on. And I remember being a teenager too, when everyone hated me and I had no friends, and people really just didn't want anything to do with me. I hated myself so fucking much, and all I had was my self-pity. That was like my drug to make myself feel better. And I would just sit in my room and I would just like rock back and forth and be like, nobody likes you, everyone hates you, Emily, they hate you. And I'd be like, oh yeah, ooh, that feels so good. And yeah, that's the fucked up thing. And I mean, even then I knew it was harmful. It's extremely harmful. And I was like, Emily, you're gonna get out of your self-pity cycles, and you're gonna get better. And now, I mean, I still have extremely negative self-talk a lot of the time, but I don't settle into this, what I call the cocoon of self-pity, which is a never-ending cycle of just, you know, you don't. Well, if you feel good, if it makes you feel good to be disadvantaged and to suck and have people hate you, then you're not going to have any motivation to get any better and to improve yourself.
I 100% agree. You know, when I watched that cartoon, it actually did have an impact on me, because it actually helped me frame that feeling. When I had that feeling, man, I'm shit. This is shit. What I'm doing is shit. I recognize it, I isolate it, and I move past it. And that cartoon helped me kind of, I guess frame it is the best word I can come up with, because if you don't recognize those feelings, address them because they're there. Those are real, they're there. But if you can't move past them and move forward, you're just going to be stuck there, like you said, in a cocoon. You're stationary, you're not moving. Exactly. And I experienced it firsthand. And let me tell you, people, I've done this. I've been there. I've done that. Cultural Marxism got the best of me, too. But that's why we're trying to wake people up. And then, so, as Alfred's Playhouse goes along, he's cutting his leg up. This gnome's puking in the toilet. He starts blacking out and like fading away, and he's like, nobody likes you, poor Alfred, but the Playhouse loves me, and I love me. The Playhouse friends love me. And the Egberts are tucking him in. The Egberts are his Playhouse friends, the hallucinations that like run the world, his fantasy world, right? So the Playhouse friends in now current day, they're like the people on Tumblr that are like, oh, you poor thing, let me reblog 1,000,000 times, donate money to this person, they ran out of meds, they were this happened to him, that happened to him, boo hoo hoo. Those are the Playhouse friends, and they're not going to help you. You think that they're helping you by pitying you, and they're not. It's condescending, and they're keeping you down. I think some of that also goes into the people talking about Alfred in the political sense, to where they can't appreciate Alfred because of what's going on right now. They're using Alfred as an imaginary friend when Alfred's already established. He does exist in a digital space. Why don't they have their own imaginary friends? What happened to their imagination?
Isn't that funny? Alfred has become a playhouse friend for the collective safe space. Wow.
And it betrayed them.
Yeah,
and
it did.
By your imaginary friend. What a nightmare.
Good, and that's the crazy thing. That's what Alfred's Playhouse is all about. Is that your Playhouse friends will betray you, and they're not trying to help you. They're trying to keep you in the cocoon. They're trying to keep you down below. They're trying to keep you from the light. So anyway, so Alfred melts into this hole. He's like, nobody likes you. The Egberts cover him up. They put him to bed, and they are just smiling. And then Alfred wakes up. And oh yeah, he starts hallucinating, and he like looks up, and there's the blood on his hand in the bed, and then the thing echoes like, get out of bed, get out of bed. So he like wakes up, he sees the blood, and he wakes up, and suddenly he's all tied up, and he looks over, and Egbert has a dildo, and then the Led Zeppelin comes on, and he sings.
Hey mama, gonna make you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
Exactly. Uh-huh, girl, the way you shake that thing, gonna make you burn, gonna make you sting.
Yeah.
And he's holding the dildo up. Yep. And, but oh, yeah. So then Alfred wakes up, and he realizes that the Playhouse friends have been abusing him this whole time. The people who were supposed to be his friends, that were supposed to be tucking him in and all that shit, have actually been hurting him. So after that, like the thing goes in his butt, he wakes up, and then Dictator Alfred, his alter personality, comes up, and he's like, whoops, we did not mean for you to see that, because he's the controller of the Playhouse. Dictator Alfred is Alfred's alter personality who runs the fantasy world, okay? And he likes to take control of the body. So he keeps the real Alfred in this fantasy world, so Dictator Alfred can take over, you know? It's complicated, but, so Dictator Alfred's like, well, I guess the real question is, would you rather get sodomized by the Playhouse or reality? Because you're going to get sodomized either way.
I love that line.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. It's like all these liberals running to their safe space. You're still going to be, the bad shit's still going to be happening to you. And in fact, it's going to happen to you worse because you're not confronting it. Okay? So Dictator Alfred knows the truth. He is the one that contains all the memories, all the abuse, and all that shit. He contains the knowledge. Because, as you know, with dissociative identity disorder, you create these alters in order to protect the host personality from the horrific memories, right? So they take over the body when the abuse is going on, and they retain the memories so that the host personality is preserved. Okay? You got it?
Yeah.
Sybil? Sybil? That thing, it's all in the book. It's, this is what happens to DID people. And that's why it's unfortunate. I think some of my fans do have DID, and now that they see that I like Trump, they're suddenly thinking that all the stuff that I said about DID is completely negated. And it's like,
sad.
Kids, if you think that I was so right on all that other stuff, maybe I could be right about what I'm saying now, right? Like 9 years older and more informed. Maybe you could open your mind just a little bit. Well, I hope you guys are here. I hope some of you are watching this right now, and I hope some of this is coming through. So anyway, Dictator Alfred goes on, and he just starts, saying, I was the one who experienced the popsicle. I was the one who experienced the abuse. You don't know. You were there dancing with Jerry Seinfeld unicorns. That was the Playhouse, created so you could dance with unicorns and be all merry and innocent and happy and la la la. And these are direct quotes. And then he says, but I was the one that knew what was going on. Something. Why can't I quote my own cartoon? You guys know.
Well, you're the best interview subject because you can carry a show 10 times better than I can. So trust me, this has been amazing. But moving forward, the thing that I really liked about the cartoons and why it does bother me that people get so antsy about, oh, this didn't quite follow my political beliefs, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with everything that I watch. Nobody should. You should always question things, right? But if you cut yourself off from it, you're denying yourself pleasure. That's like, I can't wrap my mind around that. Why would you want to be surrounded by only people that agree with you? That's the worst.
Well,
You'll never learn anything.
exactly, and that's exactly what these liberals have done with their safe space. And they don't want to hear any sort of statistics. They don't want to hear any facts. And when I say this, I feel like I'm just spewing out what everyone's been saying, Milo and everything. But it's true, and you really can't say it enough. And I know that a lot of the kids in this chat haven't been exposed to this. So I'm glad that we can be talking about it now.
Well, I try not to keep things too political, but the thing is you can't avoid it. It's the world we live in.
I know, and like I said, most people want to play Pokemon Go, and that's a perfect example of the Playhouse. That's a perfect example of the safe space. Let me go on with the rest of Alfred's Playhouse. It's like, your perception, Stalin signed and Deathless, the Egberts taking meth hits, and Gandhi and a horse are lying somewhere. The wisdom jars and acid, the frozen peas have all gone rancid, so you gotta buy some more peas. Barry has got his truncheon, electric cords for our luncheon, and dishwasher discusses Marx over cocktails. I think that's such a hilarious line because it's the dishwasher, which is like the the epitome of capitalism. That this machine that can wash your dishes from the comfort of your own home, and yet they're discussing Marx over cocktails. And this is like exactly like these kids that are saying, I'm a communist, but I gotta go to the CVS and get an energy drink.
Yeah, no, you're not a communist if you have a bank account, if you're buying lattes, if you're leasing a car. No, none of that sinks. But that's the thing. It's okay to be ignorant, you know what I mean? You got to learn from it. But if you choose to be ignorant and remain ignorant, then you never get anywhere. And a lot of these people get caught in that loop to where I only surround myself by the people that tell me what I want to hear. And then you end up going, I'm a communist with my iPhone and latte. And you're mixed up. Completely mixed up.
If you're going to be a fucking communist, practice what you preach and just don't buy anything ever again. Like these communists that like have plants in their backyard, they grow their own food. Maybe they have a tent. I don't know. At least then you're practicing what you're preaching.
Yeah,
but
that's
for all
admirable
these,
even.
For all these part-time socialists, which was basically what was at the DNC, all of these people came down and they were like, I'm socialist today. I'm going to lie around in my tent. 3 days are up and I need a shower and this is really fucking miserable. Guess I'm going to go back to my rent-paid home with my air conditioning and my TV and my comforty hole. That's why I love capitalism.
Shit, we used to go camping for weeks out in the fucking woods with shotguns shooting deers for meat just for fun. They can't handle it for a week out in the park without going to the fucking CVS. That's a shame. I guess that's kids these days. But
no, I was there too, man. Trust me. When I first got out of my house, when I was 19 years old, I went ballistic because I was a very sheltered kid. I had no friends and nobody talked to me and anything. So when I finally got out and went to Philly, I could be a whole new person. And the cultural Marxism was more rampant than ever at the college. And when I went to college, it was before this like really fucking got out of control. But there were the beginnings of it when I was around there. But I was like, hey man, fuck the system. I just want to hop trains and travel. I want to hang out with some crusties, man. Showers are for fucking capitalist losers, dude. So and that's what I'm saying. I was there too. But then I realized that these travelers that are going these crusties, these supposed and it's a romantic thing. It is to be able to travel freely and not be tied down to a job and not have to be tied down to a wage, and just living the dream life, man. It's a beautiful fantasy, but then I realized that these people that were doing it were pretty much just heroin addicts.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of drug addicts in those sectors, which it's unfortunate. The thing is, a lot of this stuff falls in style. And this happened back in the 90s when they were trying to censor The Simpsons. They're going after Beavis and Butthead and, Mortal Kombat's teaching kids to murder and all this other stuff. It was in style. It was fun for people. It's their own version of a video game. And now Twitter's their video game. All these social media sites are their video games. So
trust me, Twitter is my video game. Jesus Christ, I can't get off of that shit. I'm on here right now.
Oh, it is fun. And, politics are fun, but... You know what? Let's move back to animation. What do you say?
Sure. Let's do it. Wherever you want to go. That's why I'm so happy, because we're just getting started and we have all the time in the world. And I am going to get another glass of wine. And despite what you kids think, this was my first glass of wine. I have a natural jest. I have a natural sort of drunken, lush demeanor to me. I'm just passionate, guys. I'm not drunk all the time. Okay.
You gotta love that passion. As a person who deals in alcohol, a little drink now and again's fine. But if you needed to get up in the day, if you need the hair of the dog every morning, you might want to rethink your life a little bit.
Oh yeah, well don't worry, I'm nowhere near that. But I'm celebrating because I'm on this awesome stream with you, and I've been fucking blowing up, baby. I've been blowing up. I know you want to get back to the animation, so let's do that, and then we can go into that stuff. But
yep,
I'll be right back.
Freshen your drink. We'll get right to it.
All right. Get your friends. Retweet. Get your fucking friends in here. This is good, guys.
Yeah,
this
spread it around. I'll have some little time with the chat here. So, how y'all kids enjoying the show? Oh yeah, and just a primer here. Don't ban people for being cunts. I'm a cunt. You know, that's just how that is. Everybody's going to have their opinion. They should be encouraged to share their opinion. That's just how that is.
And I'm back.
Welcome back. So, let's see. Alfred Diggins says, the show's doing great. Moo says, hey.
Hey, Moo, what's up? You're my other friend from Newgrounds. She's very talented, Goyle.
Yeah, Moo, you are a mod. You may need to refresh your webpage. I've donned a few people as mods. You may have to refresh to get your little wrench. But let's see. Moving back to animation.
Sure, that's my forte. That's the real reason I'm here.
Now I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions you get all the time and probably hate hearing.
Yes, no, please. I want them.
All right. So, are there any creators or shows that inspired or continue to inspire your work?
Any shows? Just shows specifically, like
shows,
other works?
Creators, really anything under the branch of animation. People who work in animation, shows that are out there, a single episode, a portion of an episode, a title screen, anything.
Well, one of my... You know, the funny thing is, I don't have too many heroes in the animation world. A lot of my heroes are, like, you know, Gaddafi and, you know, Trump. So, and as far as animation goes, there hasn't been anyone that I've been like, ooh, I just want to be them. As far as content creators goes, oh, well, one animator that I've loved since 2012 is Ralph Bakshi, who made Fritz the Cat.
Ooh, yeah,
and now Ralph, there you go. Now all of this stuff now has been made me love him even more because he has been fighting PC culture with his animations since the 70s. He harped on the real issues, and you know, heavy traffic is, besides like the Lord of the Rings and stuff, which is a great fantasy world, and it's good to, you know, have these fantasy worlds in movies. That's what it's for. But he also touched on real subjects, and like Heavy Traffic was about the mob. It was about race relations. Oh my god, the fucking race relations. It's beautiful. You could not make Heavy Traffic these days. It was just like how Polish people interact with Italians, how Italians interact with Jews, how the Jews interact with black people. And that was the beautiful part, because it's about New York City, which is a multiracial thing. And instead of us just ignoring everything and just being afraid to mention any sort of a race or any sort of problems between races, Ralph actually explored these issues. And that's what we need to do. We need to explore these race relations. And it was an incredibly funny movie too. That's the other reason I love Bakshi, is because it's not only violent and brutal and edgy. I hate that fucking word, but that's what they would call it these days. But it's also hilarious, and it has humor sprinkled throughout. And I think that inconvenient truths are best paired with humor, because that helps the pill slide down a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
if you can get a chuckle out of a fact that you don't want to hear, you can accept it a little bit more.
Well, it makes it a little less daunting, because, yeah, when you go over stuff like inequalities, all these things that do exist, and you don't have something to kind of bring up the mood a bit, you can get down into a slog, and it does lose attention. It makes it a little bit more boring, and it definitely doesn't hold up to repeat viewings. It really dates things, too, but having something dated's not necessarily bad. You do have to hit it, you know. Things have to be spoken about. But I do agree with your point about Ralph Bakshi. He did tackle race relations, all these things that nobody would tackle. You can never get funding for that these days. No studio in America would go, yeah, here's $80,000, make a cartoon about black and white race relations. No way.
I know, isn't that funny? Well, it's like it seems like all these liberals are concerned about race relations, and you would think that's what they would want is real discussion and stuff that actually taps on these issues. But what they actually want is just people to sidestep it completely, pretend like it doesn't exist, pretend like there are no problems, that everyone's the same. And meanwhile, here we are, more divided than ever. And like I said with the Playhouse, the more you deny reality, the more you avoid the inconvenient truth, the more it's going to come out and bite you in the ass. You're either going to get sodomized by the Playhouse or reality. Wait, what is it?
No, do it.
Would you rather get sodomized by the Playhouse or reality? Because you're going to get sodomized either way.
I love that so much.
Yeah, and it relates more than ever, and that's why I've been like jumping into this movement, because I've been talking about this shit for 10 years. I'm not just like, I know people probably think I'm just really just trying to be contrarian and like just jump on a movement to, get publicity, and I am, but I've also been talking about this stuff for over 10 fucking years.
Yeah, you can go back in your past and really line that out. Now, I was too ignorant to get a lot of that stuff, and to be honest, I'm a little bit more in the middle of the political scale, mostly because I don't give a shit, and, chastise me for that all you want. I'm an egotist, so I focus on myself.
Dude, that's totally fine, man. That's completely fine. And trust me, once you start to go there, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
Once you start to figure out all the events and the happenings, you're not going back, man.
No,
so it's like
I see it out there, and the reason why I stay away from it is because I know how infuriating it'll be to look at both sides, even.
Yeah, it's been. Let me tell you, it has been infuriating, but that's been the best part. It's been amazing. It's been like waking up, and I'd rather be aware of what's going on personally.
Well, I think both paths are good just as long as you keep your feet rooted in reality and don't try to ostracize people just for having an opinion. You'll never be able to change people's opinions if you block them out. But that being said, we keep sliding back into politics, and it's my fault because it's interesting.
No, don't, please go. I want this conversation to go where it's got to go, please.
All right, well, for now, let's move back to animation. You're working on a full-length animated film. What made you decide to take on such a massive project by yourself? Because that's insane.
Right, yeah, people would say it's insane, wouldn't they?
Yes, we would.
Why would I do it by myself? Well, because it's just, I feel like there's a lot, the pain of actually working with people far outweighs the pain of me doing this by myself. Because, you really can't rely on people, and I've known this since the beginning. And that's why a lot of people that do real feature, like with cameras, like reality stuff, their films never finish because the actors they didn't want to show up, or
we lost daylight, money ran out. Yep, I've been through that gauntlet before.
Oh man, we had a falling out. Whoops, we started a film and we had a falling out. Wow, who would have seen that coming? Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't work with people. I've had a million fallings out, and this whole Trump thing has made me have even more falling outs than ever. And I'm like, great, baby, I'm fucking used to it. Bring it on.
Well, but I've also kind of weeding people out. The people that you can really work with are the ones that'll stick through you through thick and thin. People who won't do that aren't reliable. So I do see why you took it on yourself. You have ultimate creative control. Well, it's a massive undertaking that most people wouldn't have the gumption to take on. It's really nice to see you, a person with the gumption and the talent, do it.
Right, you gotta have talent and you have to have gumption, and I think I have both. But I think you need gumption more than talent, actually. It's really all comes down to the gump. If you believe in yourself, which is funny because half the time of the day I tell myself, oh God, you fucking loser, you can't do this. What are you doing? What are you doing? And it's funny how I say you need to face reality, but there's like a part of me that needs to remain in a bit of denial about this feature film, because if I fully accept, oh, Emily, you're going to do 24 frames per second for another hour, that's a lot of drawings, and that would drive you insane. And if you think about it a little bit more, if you think about it a lot, it just kind of drives you insane. So I think a lot of it has to be suspended belief, but I'm not letting it... The key is I'm not letting that suspension of belief interfere with my work. In fact, it's it's helping with my work, because if you keep thinking about how much you have to do, and if I'm like, and I do, and every day it's like a fucking boulder on my shoulders. Emily, you got to finish another hour of the cartoon. You got to finish it before the world goes to hell. And I know you've been reading up on all this stuff, and it looks like it's going to hell, especially if Hillary becomes president. That's for goddamn sure. She's gonna let in 500% more refugees. Hello, Europe. Yeah, no, well, it's not funny.
No,
it's not.
It's not. But back to politics. Let's say you are dictator, Emily.
We wove back there again. Sorry.
No, I got a perfect political question for you though.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Dictator Emily.
You have
a full team of animators who bend to your every single whim. Would you enjoy that, or would you prefer to work alone? Let's say we live in a fictional world to where they always do what you say exactly as you say it.
Like they can do so the visions in my head, I can just like have a tube that directly puts the visions in their brain, and I'm like, there, go.
Yeah, it's all done by Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd have to be an idiot to say no. And well, this is a fantasy one. If you gave me a regular studio, like if you gave me an Adult Swim studio with a bunch of people that don't give a rat's ass, I would end up with something like Mr. Pickles, the shittiest fucking show on earth, basically a ripoff of Alfred Alfer, and it just proves that you can have a studio with 500 people, you can have hundreds of thousands of dollars for a budget, you can have the best publicity and ratings ever, and yet you can still come up with an inferior product. And that's exactly, and case in point, Mr. Pickles versus Alfred Alfer.
Yeah, I've watched a few episodes of that, and while I can see how it could be entertaining on a certain level, it doesn't quite. Well, it does. First of all, it doesn't get as crazy as Alfred Alfred. It doesn't touch on the same points that Alfred Alfred does, and the show loop is the same every episode. You know how it's going to start. You know how it's going to end. You've just seen one episode. You've seen them all. So why even have multiple seasons? You already did it in one episode, pretty much.
I don't know why it hasn't gotten canceled already. I mean, if you go to the YouTube, like 4 out of the 8 thumbnails are just like an ass, like a picture of a poorly drawn ass, and like for some reason 2 of them have like eyes on the ass. I'm like, this is like the best you can do? Is this the reoccurring joke? A butt in the thing? And that's the funny thing, is that Mr. Pickles is like trying to be as edgy as you can be, but my stuff still packs more of a punch because it has substance, it has depth, it has emotional edginess. Now, Mr. Pickles has no emotional impact whatsoever. It's just a bunch of it's just one gory thing after the other, just like no method to the madness. And that's why Alfred Alfer is so disturbing, because it has the psychological stuff to back it up, and no one just kills for no reason. There is a million factors that go into a murder, and I'm trying to explore the psychosis. The psychosis in going into a murderer's mind is the real, is really what's going to pack a punch and really going to disturb people. Mr. Pickles has absolutely nothing behind it. It's nauseating. It gives me a feeling of a hole in my stomach to watch it. It's just like I really can't stand it. And the beauty of it is the show is going to get canceled, if not this season, the next season. The creators, they already ripped off of me, so they're going to have to either rip off someone else, but they won't have their studio and they won't have their budget, so they won't be able to make their product because they're 2 lazy fucking idiot assholes. 2 unoriginal fucking dicks.
Everything divines inspiration from something. There generally isn't a way to have a completely original thought. There's inspirations, there's things in life that you take in. If everything you do is based off of picking little bits and pieces out of other people's work, you will hit a dead end very quickly. And yeah, I think they hit that dead end after the first episode, because like I said, it keeps looping around. The dog is satanic. He does bad stuff. The one guy's like, the grandpa has an issue with it. It's like, okay, that's good. What's the new character? That kind of stuff. I'm not going to say it's completely not entertaining, but, for that network, like, they have Rick and Morty on that network, which I adore that show.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've heard that Rick and Morty has emotional substance, and I actually haven't watched it myself, but from what I've seen, like, the clips and stuff, that seems like a quality show, and I'm not bashing all studio projects, like, whatsoever. But I'm saying, for my, I can put more passion and more punch into making these frames all out of my own brain than having a studio, unless it's your hypothetical situation where they literally can see my vision and do it themselves. But you know, it's beautiful. I've actually been working with a few animators for this new one because it's a 7.5 minute long thing, and I'm like, you know, one of my heroes is Sam Hyde. Oh, believe it or not, I'm sure you all realize that. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? But you know, that's what happens when you find a kindred spirit, or when you find someone, like when you've been doing this work your whole life, and then you find someone who's been doing work along the same vein. You know, they call Sam a try-hard, edgy, fucking autistic guy. That's exactly what they call me. So to find someone like that is just it just sends a tingle through my heart. But,
well, you know, if nobody's trying to push the boundaries, then the boundaries don't get pushed at all. Then you end up with just milquetoast, boring stuff. Like, I'll enjoy a Family Guy episode once in a while, but again, it's formulaic, you know what I mean? It does the same things. It never crosses the barrier that you know that it's never going to cross. And that's what I love about independent animation so much, is that it's constantly breaking through the barriers. It's constantly surprising you. Out of nowhere, it's doing this thing that you would never see on television, never in a motion picture, never anywhere. So...
Oh, yeah.
You know, sometimes when I hear, like, Adult Swim didn't pick up Hellbenders, I'm like, yes, fuck yes, they didn't do it. Because if they do it themselves or they find other methods in order to get it done on the internet, they're not going to have to compromise their vision at all. And they're going to do things that are legitimately going to surprise the audience. And that excites me.
Yeah, and you know what? Part of my process is making shit up as I go. I mean, I did Alfred's Playhouse, like, all out of order, and the beauty of it, the most orgasmic thing, is just... when you finally figure out how it all comes together, and you don't figure that out until you work it, until you do it. So that's why, you know, I don't do an entire storyboard. I don't do an entire script. Storyboards do definitely help in some cases, but I find that as I do it, I come up with the ideas. And you can't do that if you're telling a studio what to do. You basically have to have it all outlined and everything like that. But that being said, like I said, it's a 7.5 minute thing, and I have been working with other animators for this one, and it's been awesome. I have a 15-second clip done by my friend Invader Design. Shout out to Invader Design, extremely talented person who doesn't really have a fan base, and there's so many of these really talented animators that don't know how to publicize themselves or don't really have a product that they can push. You know,
that's why I love dragging you people onto my show, because I want to push you out there. There's a lot of them are introverted, and I totally understand that attitude. But people call it whoring out, but if that's whoring out, then the only other option is to be a failure, unfortunately, which kind of sucks.
Say the thing again with the failure. Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Well, people can call putting your name out there and self-advertising being a whore or egotist. But if you just sit there and hope that it'll come your way, that's a recipe for failure. Absolutely,
and it's like a funny little paradox there. It's like you have to have no shame to where was I going with that? It's less egotistical to put yourself out there and to risk the people, like risk your stuff backfiring, risk failure, risk criticism. To push yourself really hard. I think that's less egotistical because you're risking people coming at you and being like, oh, fuck you, Emily, why are you putting yourself out there? You don't deserve this shit. You don't deserve this. And I think it may be more egotistical to be, you know, shroud yourself in this blanket of, oh, I'm not gonna push myself. And I'm not saying that people that don't push themselves are egoists. I mean, there's a lot of people that just... they're really talented in maybe sculpting or technical animation stuff. They just don't necessarily have a story or a character. And that's what's great is I'm finding these animators that are like basically unknown but extremely talented. And I'm putting in them work. And it's good because a lot of animators are lazy. I'm lazy. I can be so fucking lazy, bro. So lazy. It's bad. I don't know how I get all my shit done.
You gotta watch out. That laziness is so easy to just snuggle into, like a nice comfy bed off, taking the day off. I'll get it done later. The deadline's tomorrow. It's fine.
Enough self-pity. Here, I'll give you the pose that I do when I'm doing that. It's basically just me doing this. Here, wait. Let me pull up the side. Now, you can't see my right arm, but I'm scrolling with my right hand, and I'm pressing on my teeth obsessively with the other hand, and I'm all curled up, my knees are up, and I'm just veg the fuck out. And when I do that, I'm still on my the board that I go to get my news. So I'm still have 50 tabs open and absorbing current events.
Scroll.
Oh yeah, I know, never stop. So luckily, thanks to this, at least thanks to me, like being familiar with the current events and keeping up with the news, it's weaned me off of Facebook. So we all have the potential we all have that urge to scroll. It's bad, dude. But now at least I'm absorbing current events, and I'm just like, argh. And so like this is me in the beginning of the day, scrolling. I think I have like an oral fixation or something. I chronically press my teeth in.
Well, we all have a fixation. I keep my little cigarette here, and I don't always smoke it, but sometimes I hold on to it just because it's that comforting feeling. Like I got it though. I got it. It's weird how the mind wonders when you don't have what you want. You all of a sudden it's like, but I don't have the thing. But you don't need it right now. But I don't have the thing, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you spend an hour thinking about that. Where did the time go? Shit, I gotta work.
Oh yeah, I know. Tell me about it. And I think it's like this is like a pacifier for me.
Oh, Freud would have a field day.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, I'm just scrolling, reading, absorbing my current events. Just like, so like at the beginning of the night, I'm like this. At the end of the night, I'm like.
Just getting a face full of it.
Oh yeah, but the later the night goes on, and the more like I get, the better time I have, and then it's like 4 a.m. It's so funny how I don't know if you experience this too, but when I get to work from like I start work usually around 3 p.m. and from 3 p.m. to 6 or 7 p.m. it's like dragging a fucking ball around. It's like pushing a rock up a hill. I'm fighting the urge to scroll, and it's bad. It's a fucking itch, especially every time you refresh. There's gonna be a new story. There's gonna be a new happening. So I'll be like, it's gotten to the point where I've done like, I'll animate and I did one frame, back to scrolling, and then you can't work like that. You need to get in the zone. If you're gonna get fast, it takes getting into the zone, and that's why like the first 4 hours of the day are me just like, it's like pulling a 5-year-old around a house, like, you know what I mean, like, getting a 5-year-old to sit down or something, and then suddenly at about 10 p.m. something clicks, and it's like, whoa, I did something today, and like those first 7 hours are like, you suck, bored, click, scroll, fighting the urge, and then suddenly at 10 p.m. after those like 7 hours, you're like, oh shit, I did something today, I'm good.
Well, not to make the interview about myself, but that's what I dabbled in the animation back in the Flash 5 days. And what my biggest roadblock was, and I'm a huge gamer, I fucking love video games. So my Flash and all my animation stuff was on the thing that I do my video games on. So I got the little Quake 3 icon there constantly taunting me. I'm fun. This is way cooler than this. You'll never get that done. Come on, play me. And I fell victim to that. Thankfully, with voice acting, I'm tied to this giant robot cock here. So I can't get distracted, and I get through with it. So voice acting tends to be more my thing. So I have a lot of respect for people like you and Petey and all of you animators out there that have the ability to train yourself to get back into it and know that there's that reward waiting for you once you accomplish it. That the endorphins that explode in your brain after you get that walk loop done, and you can just watch it. You can scroll back and forth. You get that lip sync done. You go woo on the timeline.
And then you're pressing your teeth harder than ever, but this time you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. And that's like the fucked up thing. But every day it's a struggle, and even though you know that reward is coming, you don't believe it. There's a part of you that doesn't believe it at all.
Flash will crash. It won't export. That frame's not going to look right. Oh yeah.
Emily, you suck. You lost your talent. It's like every time I start a scene, part of my brain says, "Oh, you must have lost your talent, Emily. You can't do it anymore. You fucking suck." And then I'm like, "I'm gonna prove you wrong." And then 7 hours later, and that's the thing that sucks about animation. You don't get any real results until after you put in at least 5 hours of work. So it gets that 7-hour point. Most people would be like, "Oh, we're done. Let's call it a day." But no, for the animator, I'm like, "I'm just getting started, man. I'm finally in the zone." Finally! And then you're kind of in the zone, and then suddenly it's 2 a.m., and then you really get in the zone. and then it's like you're on a drug and you're putting on the final touches and you're like, yeah, yeah. And then it's 2 a.m. and then it's like, oh, the sun's coming up. You have to go to bed and you're suddenly extremely energetic. And that's how it works for me, at least.
I'll tell you, the only time doing voice acting where I get pressured, really pressured, is when I'm doing anything that's animated, because I know the work that's going into it. So I'm not just like reading a narration, because I can pop that out, listen back to it, go, that sounds good, put that in, clip it in, we're good. When it's animation, I'm visualizing it in my head. I'm like, somebody's going to slave over this. It better sound good. And that's all. It's part of the fun, though, the challenge. It's like if there wasn't any kind of stress involved or any kind of mountain to climb over or something that feels impossible to accomplish, again, you wouldn't get that endorphin blast, which is better than any alcohol, any cigarette, any drug. You're like, right. Oh, I fucking did it, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then you're like, why was I slowly sucking on the pacifier of my news board all day? You know, sucking up those articles and or video games or whatever your poison is.
That's what happens to the people that just only get to the point where they only consume media. Is that it is easy to get dragged into that because it's instantly rewarding. You click play, you boot up the game, you read the article, you get your fix and you're done.
Yeah.
But if you're a creator, especially an animator, because you don't get to really show off your stuff until it's finished for the most part.
No, and I've been so bad with this cartoon. I've been showing everybody everything, but I think it's because we're like in really crucial times and the time is fleeting, and I don't want people to think that I've gone away, and I want to keep up with what's going on. So it's good to post a lot of screenshots as we go. I've never posted as many screenshots. Plus, I've been doing the streams now. This is the first time I've done like regular streams, and honestly, I haven't really minded. Like, I feel like, oh, you're giving it away, but.
Well, if people want to spoil themselves, then it's their own fault for not being able to resist it. And to your credit, the internet's constantly changing. So
wait,
if you're not oh no, go ahead.
Sorry, Metal Neck said animating can be painfully time-consuming. I have news for you. Animating is painfully time-consuming. It is. If it's not painfully time-consuming, you're not animating. That was my Stefan.
You could do some stick figures, but even then, a stick figure animation still takes significantly more time than just writing well, maybe not writing a story, but you know what I mean. You're putting down the frame by frame. You get your motion there. That takes thought.
But I don't do stick figures, bro. I'm trying to do a blockbuster here.
Yeah, and that's
one girl. It's
a completely different league.
Yeah, but I'm exceptional. I'm not gonna lie, and that's one thing that I've you see my confidence here, my smugness. That's one thing that cultural Marxism has absolutely destroyed. It's destroyed people's ability to feel pride.
To love yourself, yeah. Because you need somebody else. Love me because I can't. If you can't love yourself, then you're significantly crippled when it comes to doing anything on your own. You always need that helping hand. And when you always need that helping hand, well, somebody's going to be taking something from you. Help isn't free now. Sometimes it is, but nah, not most of the time.
Right, and when you do finally get over those hurdles, and when you're like, hey guys, I'm not disabled anymore, I overcame stuff, all the SJWs are going to be like, no, you're not, and they're not going to have anyone to coddle, because they thrive on that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's
You're like, get back in your hole, get back in your cocoon.
Good old Stockholm Syndrome.
They
brought me in because it's good for me. They really have my best interest in mind. They love me. Yeah, take my money. It's okay.
Exactly. Like the Playhouse friends. Exactly. It's all coming together. It's all coming out to the forefront now. This election's been bringing it all out. It's just been incredible.
Well, I will say one thing about the streaming is that you are adapting with the times, and when it comes to the internet, if you're not constantly putting yourself out there, people forget about you instantly.
Oh, yeah. And, if I were to go back in my hole and release this movie at the end when it's done, like, the fucking world could be over by that point. I mean, honestly, everything could go to hell at any moment. And by 2020, I think that we might, if Donald Trump doesn't become president, 2020, it's done. We're done. We're on the path of no return.
Ooh, that's dark. But hey, you know what? Agree or disagree. An opinion is something everybody has a right to, and you should listen to people when they warn you about these kind of things, because if you're just going to say, nope, I don't believe in that, so I'm not going to pay any mind to it whatsoever, when everything is on fire and your water is poisoned and the world's on fire, you're not going to be... Oh, it's so
like
bad.
It's like the comic of the dog who's sitting in the room with the fire, and he's like, everything is fine. I have a goddamn very strong feeling that was taken directly from Alfred's Playhouse, because there's a scene in the beginning when Alfred is doing the Pee Wee Herman dance obliviously while a fire burns around him, and his Playhouse friend is like, "Master, please help me," and then then the fairy from what's that Disney movie?
There's so many
the
with fairies.
The blue fairy comes up and like, boop. She like moves her wand and the fire's gone, and
the fairy godmother, yeah.
Yeah, and the carriage comes up, and Alfred's in like a Disney dress, and he just jumps in the carriage. So yeah, I mean, like, I originally did the cartoon with the dog obliviously dancing through the fire, saying it's wacky denial, and I don't know. I think it's just a little. If it wasn't a dog. In the cartoon, I wouldn't think that it was so ripped off, but I don't know. I may have subtly influenced a lot of internet culture throughout these 10 years, and not have even noticed it. I mean, I was using the word triggered since 2007.
That's going back.
Yeah. Now everyone uses that word now. That's common knowledge.
I never even heard that word till 2012. Not even 2012. We'll push that forward. 2013, absolutely. I didn't hear anything about that. Then again, I kind of keep my blinders on for my own sanity at points.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, now it's just like a regular word of culture. And back in 2007, it was like the whole thing of Alfred's Playhouse was about him getting triggered, going into the flashback and retreating into the Playhouse because he got triggered. And now it's like, it's all coming full circle. It's the definition of Trigglypuff. And I think that's why I'm finally blowing up in this realm. And I'm not just doing it because I'm a contrarian. And all this stuff I wish I could have said on Gavin. God, I've been like, ever since I did the Gavin interview, I've been like, fuck Emily, you had so much you could have said and you didn't fucking say it. You just sat there and looked pretty and let Gavin compliment you. And that's cool. But I mean, I want to let people know that I'm not just fucking like just joining into this movement. I've been talking about this shit for 10 years.
Well, while I say contrarians are important because they're the people on the fringe edge that keep things going a lot of the times, there are people that legitimately have good points that are close to the fringe edge that cross it once in a while, and they're also important. If you want to pigeonhole everybody and this is what you are, this is what you are, this is what you are, you're just taking these their individuality away. And if you don't have any individuality, then you're kind of just a cog in the machine. And then that's, I don't know, I'm going off the trail here. Let's go back to animation, eh?
Sure. I love this bounce between politics and animation. They're my two favorite things, so I'm enjoying it.
I like the free flow this is having. It's
me too. And that's the thing that sucked about Gavin. I had like 10 fucking minutes, and I couldn't. I have so much shit going on that if I would have started talking about it, I think it would just ran off the track. But he wants to have me back. Oh, and today, Gavin, I love him. He's my hero. And it's just been, like, amazing to have him say that he likes me. It's, like, the most wonderful.
Well, like you're finding your people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for the longest time, and I've stalked you on the internet through the YouTube, watching what you do with animation. And I can look at the views, and I can look at how many subscribers you have, and I can piece together things based off that. Until you find your group, you've remained unknown. Without the help of others and without friends and stuff like that, you tend not to get anywhere unless you're extraordinarily
well, no, not
lucky.
necessarily. Oh, well, or extraordinarily talented. And I think that was the case with me because I didn't know anybody until 2013. I didn't even know who Ego Raptor was until 2013. Ego Raptor knew who I was. He sent me a PM in 2009 saying that he loved my work, and I ignored it because I didn't know who the fuck he was. So, I could have been a game grump. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that would have been an interesting future.
Everything works out the way it has to, and let me tell you, with the way things have been working out in the past couple weeks, I am a believer.
Well, I believe in you. You're a go-getter. The way that I got my job with the whole Dolan thing was that I saw he's putting out applications. I said, I can do that. An application's free to put in. Got the job. I think a lot of people could have gotten to that point if they thought that they could do it. I think a lot of people shot themselves down. So when I see somebody like you who's not allowing themselves to be shot down, I see somebody who's going to be successful because you're actually going out there, you're talking to Gavin, you're going to these political things, you're making these cartoons, you have these big ideas, you're putting yourself out there. If you don't have that kind of, you have a much better chance, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, yeah, now I know. I'm fucking 26 now. I've been 26 for 2 months. The time is fleeting. I need to seize power now. And I'm finally doing that. And I've been fantasizing about seizing it in this alt-right world ever since I've discovered it at the beginning of the year. And I've never felt more tied into a movement than I have now. It's really been, I've been saying it's like the fourth best thing that's ever happened to me. The first best thing that's ever happened to me has been Macromedia Flash. The second best thing that's ever happened to me has been getting the job as the Pistachio girl. Because if I didn't have that job, I wouldn't be able to animate like I do now. And I've gotten on TV and I've got my own cult through that. So that's another subject. We should talk about that too, because that ties in. And I have so many different like cults and areas that people know me. And they don't tie it together a lot of the time. They don't. The people that are fans of Alfred, a lot of the time they don't know what the Pistachio Girl is. The Pistachio Girl people don't know what Alfred is. I've been trying to make them bring it together. That's been my goal, and slowly it's happening more and more. But anyway, this movement, I've never felt like I've been part of something before. I finally feel like I've been part of a revolution. I mean, I've been thirsting ever since I was a young lass, like a teenager. I wanted a revolution. I wanted something to be part of, a movement. And I thought remember in the early 2000s when you thought we were post-history?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because I was a kid or because this shit didn't come out, but I thought history was done. I thought there were no more good times. But now I'm realizing this is the most historical time. This is history. We're living it. This is the shit that's going down now is just the most bizarre, amazing, incredible stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a revolution around every corner, and you can see it on the internet. Technology's been driving it really hard.
Don't go to sleep. Someone in the chat asked if you should go to sleep.
Stay awake.
Stay awake. Stay woke, my friend.
This will be posted post-stream, but don't you want to be here? At the end of this, we're going to answer your questions.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so happy. I love this stream. We have so much time. I have so much to say. So I'm just really happy we can just go on into the night.
Oh, yeah, we've got a couple of hours at least, but we'll save the last of those hours to do a nice Q&A with everybody. So if you hang in there.
I'm so excited. Let me go refresh my glass. This is glass number 3.
Go for it.
Oh, I will.
So everybody who's sticking here, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I know politics are rough. If you get butthurt in chat, that's fine. Just, don't spam. That's all I ask. Please say whatever opinion that you want. That doesn't bother me. You should be able to speak your opinions. If it does bother you, all you got to do is let it scroll up. But we will be doing Q&A at the end of this. Oh, that's classy. Yeah, we don't have wine that fancy at my place. But going back to Pistachio Girl, I will say one thing that can really help when it comes to learning how to get out there and be a person who's a go-getter is taking on a job like that to where you're out in the public selling stuff, yelling, pistachios or no cover.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's why the Pistachio Girl has been a blessing. That's why I think there's something looking out for me. There really does. It's the first and only job that I've ever had. I've been doing it for 7 years. It not only got me into the public spotlight, and it got me a cult, it got me into the paper, it got me on the radio. I just got into the paper again because of it, and also the stuff with Gawker. It's gotten me on TV more times than I can count. I mean, have you heard about that? Like, they've been doing close-ups with me. They've been doing close-ups. There was one game, and I've been getting louder and louder, and this is the year when I've been, I've been really singing it. I've been really belting it out.
I've heard you sing it on television.
Can you hear it? You can hear it through the TV, right? See, that's millions of views. And baseball is one of the last safe bastions of American culture. I feel like it's one of the very last untouched aspects of America. The baseball field. You can be politically incorrect around there. You can do whatever you want. I mean, at least the people that I work with, you know, they're cursing and they're laughing and they're hanging out. And
shit, I've heard the announcers drop F-bombs before.
but
fucking
anyway,
missed that line drive, and it's like, yeah, this guy loves his fucking game. Yeah, this guy should be announcing to everyone. Cut off the censor. This guy's great.
yeah, it's real. It's one of the last real places of America, and the people that work there, they're loyal. Like, you know, people have been working there for like 30 fucking years, and you know, they will keep you even if you're about to die. There's this fucking crackerjack guy who, basically, I can go down like 8 rows, and hasn't even gone down like the first row. Maybe he's coming back up, right? He's like, crackerjack. This old beard guy. He's a sweetie. He's a real sweetie, but he you know, he can't move around, but they still keep him. They don't take him out back and shoot him, if you will.
Right. In this day and age, it's really rare. It's either, you know, make money or get out.
But you've heard me on TV, right?
Oh, yeah. Granted, I had to look it up because I don't watch much baseball, but it is out there on the internet. You can find it. And when
Where?
you do
Find it. I still haven't been able to fucking find it.
I've seen people tweeting it at you. I'm like, oh, that's her.
Oh, that, yeah. Well, I'm looking for, like, actual streams because, you know, every game, like, this one time I was selling my nuts, and this old, short, little adorable woman came up to me with tears in her eyes, and she said, "Are you the girl that sings on the TV? You're the girl that sings on the TV every night." And I'm like, "Yep, that's me." And she's like, "I love you. I've listened to you every night." And she had tears in her fucking eyes. And she's like, "Can I get your picture?" And she did. And I was like, "Oh, bless you. God bless you. If my annoying nasally voice, shrieking, belting it out, can make you cry of joy, then I can't argue with that."
You know, I've learned that working as a barker for Barker Security for a long time. When you come out there with a good attitude and you're screaming and you're bringing people in and keeping that attitude, keeping that positive energy, people really do form a bond with you, whether you know it or not. They recognize you. They need you there. And when you're not there, you can miss a day. And they actually miss you. That was like the first time in my life I actually had people miss me. You know what I mean? The day that I got sick and I took a day off and I came back, yeah, and I had people going, "Oh my God, we thought you were dead." Like, I was just gone for a week. "Oh, thank God you're back. Give me a picture." Like, yeah, all right. And, you know, that's
you're the guy with the amazing voice.
They told me I should be in radio. I didn't listen.
Well, you are. You are now.
Well, now I can take a compliment. You know, I was an introvert before I took that job, and that job forced me to be an extrovert.
Exactly. I think that's what Pistachios did for me, and I think that's one of the reasons why I've been developing this charm for 7 years. You know, I've been forced to deal with the masses. I've been forced to deal with the public, and I love it. And I absorb their energy, and I believe in the transfer of energy. I think it's a very real thing, and me being there, absorbing the entire stadium, and a lot of the times it's extremely low energy. Like today, it was. What? Oh my God. That's why it took me so long to get ready, is because it was like 97 degrees. Oof. It was humid as fuck. I mean, you're in Texas. You don't know about humidity.
Not quite as much as where you're from, no.
No, it was like a sauna. I was damp. I went down one fucking stair, and there was like a Hall of Fame thing going on today. So it was like, so they were like doing awards for the Hall of Fame. And so, like, you can't sell during that shit. I'm not going to be an asshole and start and crank the jokes, crank the jokes, like during this amazing award ceremony of the Hall of Fame. So, you know, the vendors just sit there. I went down one aisle of steps, sat on the ledge, and I was damp. As in, I just, like, got out of the fucking pool.
Oof.
Yeah, and, you know, my job entails I go up and down stairs, so... I wanted to get to work because the great thing about like running around is that once you're in it and once you start selling, you forget about all your discomforts, you forget about your pain, you forget about your swamp ass, you forget about it all. So it's like you get into the groove, and that's the great thing about Pistachios. With animation, it can take like 5-6 hours to get into the groove. When I do Pistachios, maybe 2 aisles, and I'm in it, baby. And
yeah.
the people.
It starts to get electric when you're out there with the people.
Oh, yeah. Literally electric. Because I can't tell you how many times I've taken money from someone and they've shocked me. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, the transference of energy is real. I mean, I've taken so many people's money, and it's just, like, chick to the point where when I reach for money, I, like, kind of
You know
like,
it's coming, yeah.
great.
You're like, okay,
yeah.
come on, give me my shot.
And I'm like, ooh. You know, it doesn't really happen when it's damp out. Like, it didn't happen today because I don't think it's way too wet. But yeah. Then the people are laughing. They're all filming me. They're all taking photos. The kids are like, Peanut. I mean, I know how to work a crowd, baby. I mean, 7 years of doing this, and I'm just get better and better every year. Honestly, I mean, I made the name for myself in 2011. That was when I really started to get famous. That was when I was on Preston and Steve. That was when I got into the Inquirer. That was when I became like a name, like a legend in Philadelphia. And I started in 2010. Wow, that's only 2 years. So it only took me 2 years to like become a cult figure. And now I'm still a cult figure 5 years later because most people were like, oh, Emily, no one's going to give a shit about you. They took away your pistachios. You're done, man. You're old news. But as we can see, I've still been rising in power. I'm getting more and more fans on a daily basis. I'm getting better and better. I know how to work a fucking crowd like nothing. The baseball players all wave at me in the bullpen. I have millionaires waving at me at work, you know. I go down the aisle and I'm like, peanuts! And I'm not going to do it too loud here because I don't want to wake people up. But, I don't want to scare away everyone. But, you know, I point to them in the bullpen and they all point back and they all wave. And like even the Phillies are on the bottom and then the other team is on the top with the bullpen. So like I've had teams that not even the Phillies, like people that don't even know who I am, will just will applaud me for singing. And I remember the Mets were there one time and I was, you know, doing my thing like peanuts, a cracker jacks. I've been like getting more and more country with it. Because I've, you know, my MAGA cap on, my Make the Phillies Great Again cap, and today this guy was like, America, and you know I started singing. I was like, America, a crack of jacks, and you know they love that, and that's the thing I love about Philadelphia. They're real down home, blue collar people. Philly is a politically incorrect city. It's known for being politically incorrect. And I don't think I could have thrived in any other city doing what I do like I would have Philly. Like, they took me in. You know, if I was doing this shit in LA, they were like, well, look at this fucking podunk.
Like it.
Oh, they would have been like, look at this podunk retard girl. You know, what a fucking annoying...
Darling, you're embarrassing yourself.
But then again, I would fare very well in New York because... people tell me often that I should be in Broadway, and they're like, do you sing professionally? And I'm like, yes, I sing here.
You know, I'm going to be a bit of a contrarian, and I think you would do good in L.A. The thing is, when you hit a rough crowd, you have to keep running. A lot of people, they stop. They get intimidated. When you can break through the rough crowd and keep going, you can turn a crowd around. That's, the Danger Dolan thing. When I first went on, there was a large contingent of people who did not like me being around. But moving forward, I was just like, no, fuck it, I'm going to keep doing it. I don't give a shit. No, here I go. Yeah, I'm back, baby.
Oh, yeah, no, you know what, speaking of which, they would love me in LA. I'm a total showman. Yeah. I'm an entertainer through and through. I know how to work a crowd, man. Now that you mention it, they would love me in LA. Jeez. Oh, someone said... Is she legit in a pistachio cult? Like they spelled it wrong. Yes. Yes, I am.
The cult of the pistachio.
Google pistachio girl. You know, I've always wanted a cult following. When I started animating, you know, when I was a teenager, I dreamed of having a cult. And now I have several. I have my...
It's no better time to have a cult than now, thanks to the internet. It really isn't. Because now anybody can get the spotlight, where back in the 90s you had to go through the media, you had to go through GE, Disney, all these corporations in order to just get a little bit of the limelight. These days, if you can go out there and put on a good show and entertain the people, you can be anywhere. Like just recently, now this is all falling out of people's heads, but remember the lady with the Chewbacca mask? She put on a mask that was a Chewbacca thing and laughed and blew up, and she got on television. They're like, no, please.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's how quick it moves, unfortunately, but...
Oh, well, see, there's a point. That's how I'm not a gimmick. That's how I know I'm good, because my culthood has been developing over the past decade, and I've only been getting more and more famous. And, you know, a lot of the time when you're a one-trick pony is when you blow up all of a sudden, you know, in a matter of days. You're gonna fall just as hard just as fast as how you blew up. But I've had a steady and slow rise. You know how Jeb Bush says slow and steady wins the race? I like to make fun of Jeb Bush, but, he's kind of right in that sense. And especially with being a cartoonist, cartoonists have an extremely slow and steady rise. Like, Ben Garrison is, 45, 50, and he's just now making his mark in the world. Like, he's now a figure of the alt-right. Like, he has his cult. Only now he's found an audience to fully hook into. And now he's blowing up. Ben Garrison is a household... Oh, Ben Garrison just followed me on Twitter.
Oh, man, when you see somebody that you respect follow you is amazing. Recently, I saw Shadman followed me. I'm like, what? Why?
Oh, really? I love Shadman. He's a really nice guy.
He seems like a nice guy. And every time I see his art, I'm like, yeah, new Shadman drawing. It's just interesting to see people like that you never thought you'd have any kind of contact. Like with you, for example. I just sent you a tweet. I was like, hey, this person's cool. I love her cartoons. Let's see if she'll respond. And there you are.
Yep.
So, yeah, you got to be a go-getter out there,
Oh, yeah, and you can never be, I think that's a good thing with me is that I don't have too much filters. For someone that loves Alex Jones, I don't really have many filters. I will, a lot of people will just filter out, is this person gonna fit into my, dichotomy? Should I be associating with this person? But I'm like, no, man, if this person's reaching out to me, they want to have me on their show, they have a lot of followers, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
You don't... It's very rare to get anywhere if you're not willing to cross a few boundaries, do things different, even change yourself to a degree, but only to the degree that I'm going to do something I would never do.
The kids know Zyklon Ben. That makes me happy. I'm glad some of them do. Oh, speaking of people that you admire, cartoonist-wise, I would say Ben Garrison. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is the alt-right cartoonist these days. But I'm the animator. There isn't any Trump animators out there right now. Actually, Screamer my ex did a menu for this bootleg really kids animator group, and they recently put out a Trump DVD where they had all these different Trump speeches, and he does menus for a living. That's one of his freelance jobs. So he did this fucking menu for Trump for these Trump videos done by this company who does children's animated films. So I'm thinking these people might be onto something. I should hit these people up. I mean, they're an animation studio who's pro-Trump. Do you know any other pro-Trump animators? Do they exist?
No. Well, I think so. A lot of people are just afraid because it's very, very difficult to put your political beliefs out there and not alienate certain people. It's safer to not do that. Now, you can see that I do that a little bit, obviously. But if you want to know my beliefs, it really is down the center. So that's just how that is. But yeah, you need the Trump animators. You need the Emily Youcises out there.
I am the first Trump animator. I've always been a political animator ever since what we said back in the day. I'm doing Hitler and Stalin shit, Osama, George Bush, ever since I was a little girl. So it just came naturally.
Well, that kind of thing, that's another thing I wanted to get into. You should look for what you want to do. For me, voice acting wasn't the first thing, but I found it later. I did the Barker gig. I yelled, no, cover cheap beer, live music, come on in anytime. And I hammed it up and hammed it up and hammed it up, developed skills. And then I got to the point where I'm going to do video game commentaries, and all of a sudden I'm doing this. Same deal with animation. You find your niche, and then you continue to develop and develop. You went from Alfred Alfer and all this other stuff. Now you're leaning into the alt-right, as you said. And you're finding another niche. You're finding your zone. And you don't just immediately know. You have to explore those things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I first started going to the board, the news board that I go to, it was difficult. There was a lot of, women-hating stuff. And that's the great thing about that board. It delves into really fucked up shit. And the worst of the worst comes out. Definitely racism and sexism, real shit, not just
haha, I'm being edgy, as we say.
Not just women have a smaller IQ gap than men, as in women's IQ statistically is less high and less low than men. So, you know, the men typically have higher IQ than women, but then they also have lower IQ than women. And this is just stats. Women are more in the middle, you know what I'm saying? So they don't go to the extremes. This is just a fact. This isn't women hating. This is a fact. And you know what? Women, doesn't that make you feel a little better if you're smart? It makes me feel a little better because I know I'm a smart girl.
You're breaking expectations.
Exactly, you're breaking expectations.
And who knows, if enough women get that way or enough men get that way, the lower end of the male scale may go up and the higher end of the female scale may go up. You know, the lack of effort is what kills people in these things. Exactly,
the lack of effort. And what they're telling these women nowadays is, oh, you're smart. Oh, you're great. You don't even have to put in the effort. And that's coddling. That's what I said again. That's denying reality, and it's coddling. You know what I want to say to women? You know why there aren't any women directors? You want to know why?
Lay it on me.
It's because these women haven't gotten up off their ass and directed movies. That's why. It's not because men have been holding them down. It's not because they're oppressed. It's because women haven't fucking done it. If you were upset about the lack of women directors, maybe you should get up off your ass and direct a fucking movie.
Well, you know, that hasn't stopped me from getting women on my show. Generally, it's about a 50-50 split on the Saturday stream, and that's not because of any kind of statistical anomaly, just... It's easy.
Are you talking about, are they making their own movie, or are you talking about animators?
Oh, I'm not talking about animators. I'm talking about myself because I'm an egomaniac. But no, the show that I do, you know, it's easy to get people out there to work. You just have to find the people that want to do it. Sometimes people need a little bit of a push, right? But you can't carry them. You know what I mean?
No, you can't, and that's the fucked up thing about all this cultural Marxism is they're trying to lower down people to get down to the status quo to make these women feel better. And no, instead of lowering men down to meet women, we should be raising up women, or the women should be raising up themselves. Sorry. No one can raise you up but yourself. No one can raise you up but being an individual and having the gumption on your own and raising yourself up, okay? So all you women complaining about lack of movie makers, lack of women physicists, lack of women scientists, go fucking do some science, bitch.
Well, it goes into the Alfred Alfer thing. If people lost their imaginary friend that lives in the cartoon land, why not make your own? Like, exactly. You did it. It's not like asking somebody to make a blockbuster movie all by themselves. Yeah, granted, that's difficult. That requires a lot of, I mean, that requires more than just work. That requires money and connections. And that, you know, it's a different monster, basically. I'm not going to say effort because that's completely, you know, apples and oranges, right?
No, effort is extremely important.
But, yeah, well, like I was saying, you can push somebody in the right direction. You can tell them, yes, you do need to have more confidence. But yeah, if you're like, no, we're going to put you up on the pedestal, you have no experience, you can't do this, you can't do that, they will drop the ball. If they don't drop the ball, it's a matter of luck, and it's a matter of the people around them holding them up, and that's not real success. That's just that's
coddling.
Yeah,
it's cultural Marxism, and that's what feminism is. It's actually, that's the funny thing, this new feminism is actually hurting women. It's actually the opposite.
Well, now I'm talking people, about yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes to terms like that, they get taken over. So, you know, everybody in general wants equality, but if you want to like label it and sell it on a T-shirt, you know,
equality is not inherent.
No,
there is no inherent equality. There is a hierarchy. Sorry, guys. The fucked up thing about the left, though, is that they're making the hierarchy in terms of who sucks the most. That's the stupid thing about the left, is that they say they want everyone equal. No, they're just making another hierarchy, but an inverse hierarchy. A hierarchy where the weakest, stupidest, most oppressed people are the ones that have the most power and can get away with the most shit.
Well, let's bring it back to animation. If somebody in an animation, you take the weakest animator and make them the director of an animation team and have all the talent at the bottom, I don't think you're going to get a great product. It doesn't matter how much talent's behind them, unless the person just lets everybody behind them take the wheel. Maybe, what do you think?
I like that comparison. I've never thought about it that way. That's a great comparison. Yeah, think about it in terms of a studio. It would be like the people that do the bitch work, like the cleanup and like the stuff that isn't the brains, they run the show. Meanwhile, and so then there isn't an inherent, there isn't a goal. There isn't, you need somebody who has the brains. Okay, that's why I think that's why I've been always prone to being fascinated with dictatorships. When I say dictatorships, I always wondered if is it possible to be a benevolent dictator? I always wanted there to be that possibility. I always wanted there to be a benevolent dictator. But you know what? Sometimes we need someone to take control, and we need someone with the brains. Instead of just saying, let's let everyone decide. Because they can't. People are fucking retarded.
Well, the problem is there can absolutely be a benevolent dictator, but who comes next after that person?
I know who's a benevolent dictator. Mr. Muammar Gaddafi.
Ooh, getting into Gaddafi. I know you like that guy.
I love him. And you know what? I'm prone to idol worship and obsession, and my obsession for Gaddafi is pretty much transferred onto Trump. And even when I have been obsessed with Gaddafi, I knew it was going to happen. Because there was a period of time where I was on the fence about Trump, but I absolutely loved Gaddafi. But then I realized that the stuff that Gaddafi, represented, nationalism, homogeneity, he controlled his borders. Is that even a word? Homogeneity?
Homogeny.
Homogeny? Yeah, sure. He controlled his fucking borders, dude. And he kept shit in track. He kept shit in check, and he brought Libya up from being destitute to being the top country in fucking Africa.
Well, here's my opinion on that. Any political ideology can work, but it's going to come down to which one works the most frequently. If you had all the resources, all the right people, and I'm talking an army of people, you could make communism work, but then all it takes is one bad cog in the works, and then it falls apart. The reason why I think democracy stays so long is that people get replaced frequently. You can't stay in there. You get kicked out. But even
that's
that
true
has
too.
problems.
But I think that's one of the reasons why democracy actually fails, is because we're letting the dumbass masses who don't give a shit decide shit. That's why I think the idea of a benevolent dictator is good. I didn't think it was possible when I was a lass. I thought that once you get into power, you automatically get corrupt. And I fantasized about a benevolent dictator, but I didn't ever think it was possible. And that's what I thought Alfred was. I thought he was like the Alfred Christ, the benevolent dictator dog, the guy that can really run the show. And I didn't think that was actually possible, but I think it is. And it's one of the reasons why democracy fails, is because we let retards, sorry, there is hierarchy. And there's people that fucking suck, okay?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I know most, and don't act like you guys think that everyone is wonderful and smart. Everyone's a genius. No, because I know you guys go around in your life and you look at all the people in the world, the public, and you go, God, what a bunch of fucking losers. I know all of you do that. I know all of you kids go to Walmart and say, look at all these fucking losers. Why should these losers have control?
Oh, that's something that took me a while to get over. When at least when I was a teenager, I'm like, look at the garbage man. Oh, look at that loser working at McDonald's. It didn't occur to me, like, these are the people that keep food in my belly, the garbage out of my street. They are to be respected. And yeah, it's easy to think, oh, I'm going to be so much better than that. I'm so much better than all these people. That kind of cockiness, unless you just happen to be one of those people born into wealth to where I'll never have to work a day in my life, so I can afford to be fucking blind to the world. It never works out. Again, luck comes into a play there, and it's, you may as well play lottery at that point, I guess is what I'm getting at. You shouldn't demean people based on their status in life. The person working at McDonald's, the person who has to go to Walmart for food because they can't go to the fancy fucking Whole Foods market, they shouldn't be disparaged because of their place in life.
Actually, I completely disagree, Mr. Hellbent.
Ooh. All right, we got a debate going. I like it when somebody disagrees with me. We can have a talk.
Well, I mean, that's what I've been saying this whole time. That's coddling, saying that somebody that works at the McDonald's is the same as somebody who puts in fucking 1 million hours, actually creates their own company, creates jobs, and creates the positions for those McDonald's people to even work in the first place. There is a difference.
You know what? You do make a good point there. If you're working at McDonald's and you're content to do that and you don't want to get out of McDonald's, then yeah, that's the point to where respect kind of dwindles a bit. You're not trying to get out of that bad place, so why should anybody feel bad for you? You're where you want to be, baby. You're good.
Well, here's another point. What if you're a McDonald's worker by day, but you are making an amazing movie, a relevant film by night, and you're working your fucking ass off? Well, that's a different story. Then you are really working. And, you know, because people could look at my job as Pistachio Girl and say, this is the minimum wage job. You're a fucking loser, Emily. You're a cuck. Well, first of all, it's not a wage. I make commission. So the shit is based on my effort. And that's one of the reasons why I love my job and I love capitalism. Because I'm by far the best snack seller in the stadium. And it's because I put myself out there and I run around and I act like an idiot and I make the people laugh and I have natural charm. I say, thank you, sir. When I talk to people and when I sell them a product, I go, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I throw the thing to them. I treat people with respect. I make them feel special. You know, I look them into their eyes. I make them smile. I don't know. I think I have a natural gift for gab. You know, I'm not like... There's McDonald's workers, and I've been to McDonald's a million times, and they'll frown and they'll look at you in the eye, look at you with hate, and when they fuck up, they act like it's your fault.
Oh yeah, fuck those people.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, you know what? I guess I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, knowing that not everybody deserves it. But you do make a good point. I do think it's... Yeah, don't judge them off the bat, though. Wait for them to fuck up. I guess that's what I'm
absolutely
saying.
Not. And I've seen plenty of great McDonald's workers. Let me tell you, I've seen people that have been... I've seen dudes that have, like... There's been, like, a McDonald's where everyone else is slacking off. Then there's one guy who's like, get your shit in line. Fucking put the thing in the bag. What are you doing? Why are you on your phone? Stop texting. Do your fucking job. And I'm like, yes. Thank you. You are what makes... employment, that you are the one that's changing shit, because I could have easily took my job and accepted it as a shitty job, because by all means it's Aramark. It's, you know, I just read an article. They're one of the top 10 lowest paying companies. I could have easily been like, oh, this is a shit job. This is a cuck job. Oh, I have to walk up and down stairs. Oh, that sucks. Oh, everyone's watching me. Oh, no. Why don't these people just leave me alone? Fuck this shit. No.
You chose to excel instead of just curl up into a ball of garbage and just go, fuck life. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you respect those people that curl up into, like you said, that cocoon of pity, they will never get out. And they'll continue to do a shitty job. They'll never grow. And yeah, that's you can't respect that.
Oh yeah, see, now you get it, hellbent. And then you have these fucking liberals who go to McDonald's and somebody treats them like shit and is a complete asshole to them. And then in their head they're like, oh, well, he came from a disparate background. He's poor. Oh, he's ethnic. I guess we'll just let him do it. Oh, he can't help it. No, that's fucking racist. That is the problem. That is coddling, and that is racism. Okay?
Yeah, if you just assume somebody based on how they look or what they are, well, see, they're from that background, so they don't know any better. They're just a filthy mongrel like a dog. A dog doesn't know.
Exactly.
That's horrible.
Exactly.
Like, no, you got to treat everybody has agency. Everybody makes decisions. Some people end up at McDonald's and they fucking hate it, and yeah, there are cases where that's legit. They got fucked over in life.
Yeah,
that sucks, but you still got to try.
You can get out of it. Let me tell you, any situation that you're in, you can get the fuck out of it. Do you know how much I could be fucking playing the victim card right now, Mr. Hellbent?
Oh, way more than I could.
Oh man, the stuff that has happened to me, I've had. Well, let me tell you. Well, I don't want to get into details, but if I wanted to, I could go on Tumblr and write a 2-page, 3, 4-page fucking post about how horribly disadvantaged I am.
The queen of Tumblr, Emily Youcis.
Yep, and I could write it all about, say, how all the sad things. Donate now! Donate to my thing! And now everyone's like, oh, you have a Patreon, hypocrite. No, my Patreon money comes from the opposite. I say, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm excelling, and this is why you could donate. I don't say you should donate, but you can. And it's because I'm excelling.
Yeah.
I'm not going on there and saying, I'm so sad, I'm so sorry.
You're a bad person if you don't donate.
Exactly. And that's the guilt tripping. And do you know what guilt tripping is, Mr. Hellbent?
Oh, it's pity, man. It's that pity cocoon. It's like, yes, oh, guilt trip, yeah. Oh, you're so, the...
Do you know what guilt tripping is?
But let me know.
It's manipulation. Manipulation, bitch! And that's what the left has been reveling in that's how they've been succeeding, is because of their guilt tripping and their manipulation. And then they've been making everything feel so bad. Oh, pity. No, we need to stop lowering the bar. We need to start raising the bar. Okay, guys? That's how you get out of disparity. You raise the bar. And instead of me going into this Pistachio gig saying, I'm getting commission, because technically I'm in poverty, hellbent. I live in poverty. Is this poverty? This is awesome.
Look at your palatial mansion.
This is beautiful.
Jeeves, another glass of wine. Yes, thank you.
Oh my god, and let me tell you, I've lived in really horrible neighborhoods too, but I finally got into a really nice and safe neighborhood, technically in poverty, but I'm living amazingly. I'm so fucking blessed. I have a computer, I have a bed, and I have food. And
Electricity, internet, yes, absolutely. Those things are amazing. And when you go without those, especially when it's not in a place that's safe, it's not great. I've had to work in unsafe conditions for decades, and I've only just now been able to kind of get out of that.
Decades? When the fuck did you start working?
Not decades, decade. We'll put it that way. I don't want to give away too much information. But
I thought, well, I'm guessing you're in your late 20s, maybe 30, 31.
I never kiss and tell, but I will tell you one thing. When you work in a violent environment for a long time and you get out of it, it's almost like a new life. You start to become a nicer person. You start to feel better about yourself. You're like, things don't have to be that bad, and it encourages you to move forward and keep excelling. So you do need a reward once in a while, but if you get rewarded for nothing, then you don't have any reason to change. It's like, well, shit, sitting on my ass feeling bad about myself, working pretty good.
You poor thing. Let me give you some money for doing nothing.
Yeah, I suck.
That's the heart of cultural Marxism. That's the heart of socialism. Now we're getting there, Hellvent. Oh, my heart. That's why I love capitalism, because it lets people earn their worth. A man should earn their worth. Nobody starts out equal. Equality is a myth, okay? And here, let me do it in a way that's gonna do what the liberal tactic is and guilt trip you, okay?
Ooh.
I'm gonna lay down some conservative pills in a manner that that liberals like to guilt trip. So everyone starts out equal. Well, what if you, does that mean that I'm as cool as, that I'm as moral as a pedophile? If everyone starts out equal, everyone's inherently equal. It means that you're born with your morality. You start out moral, right? No. I worked my whole life and I didn't fucking molest any kids. So what? Then you have a pedophile who molests a bunch of kids and chose to make those decisions to molest those kids and chose to You know what? I'm wording it really bad. I
get where you're going with it. The thing is, you can't. Okay, a kid with multiple sclerosis isn't going to be an Olympic swimmer. Very unlikely. So you can't say that a person who's born with a disability is equal to somebody who can literally go out there and win a gold medal. That's just...
No, but he can still earn his worth in other ways. Just because you're disabled doesn't mean you can't earn your worth in other ways.
Well, no, look at Stephen Hawking. You know, he's not going to win a gold medal anytime soon, but he won oh, geez, what's that award? The one for being a smart dude who does good stuff. That award!
Oh, yeah, okay, so what I'm saying is, no, people earn their worth, okay? You earn your worth, baby. You know.
Well, some people do get a bad run. You know, that's inevitable. That's true.
But I'm not. But saying, oh, you're excused because you had a bad run isn't going to help anyone.
No, maybe you should get one boost if you legitimately have had a bad time. You don't let people starve to death in the street. I can't believe in that. If somebody else does, that's their right. I'll disagree. That's just how that works. But on the same end, you can't go, well, see, this person, we're going to go ahead and give them welfare even though they haven't looked for a job in 5 years. We'll just keep giving them money. No, make that person go out and look for work. You got to go work.
Exactly, Mr. Hellbent. And that's why I want to establish a system that encourages people to go look for jobs instead of relying on give-me dats. And you know what? That's exactly the problem with socialism, is because what I say, and I've always said it, the dole kills your soul. Get on the dole, you lose your soul.
Well, then you're rewarded for not working, so you're rewarded for not excelling, and you never get anywhere. And yeah,
Precisely.
you have to be allowed to fail, and you do need to suffer. I hate to say that. I mean, it's not ideal. You're never going to come into that perfect ideal. But yeah, if people don't suffer, they don't get moving. You know, squeaky wheel gets you greasing, as they say. If that chair doesn't squeak and you don't grease it, never mind. This is going nowhere.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, any sort of success comes on a multitude of pain and failure. That's just what happens. That's part of struggle. That's part of the hierarchy. That's just life, man. That's Darwinian. Oh, Darwinian, you're a Nazi. That's a fucked up thing. Once you get into that shit, then people just call you a Nazi and a fascist.
Oh, well, everybody has a label that they can use to silence people. And if you pay attention to that and if you really adhere to that, and that goes for both sides, you need to be able to look at it like, okay, we'll put it in the alt-right perspective. You can call somebody a cuck all day, but if they're right about something, that's a cuck who's right about something. Unfortunately, that means that sometimes somebody that you feverishly hate, or vehemently hate, as it should be said, can be right about something. And that's something you got to work with, you know what I mean? The red versus blue philosophy works good for simple minds. But if you ever want to excel and really get to the bottom of problems, you do have to be able to accept that other people can be right, other people can be wrong. But most importantly, you don't let somebody be right just because they're on your side or because of this or that or the other. If somebody on your side's wrong, or let's say we're having this conversation here and I say something you don't agree with, you need to disagree with me because I'll keep saying wrong shit.
Right.
And vice versa.
Exactly. That's why disagreement is healthy. Debate is healthy. And that's the problem with the left in the safe space is they don't want to have any debates. And they shut it down by calling you a Nazi or a fascist. And then once they do that, they, it just, you know.
Well, I've seen how the media works. Everything. But we could go into a conversation about the media forever and you know how that works. But, you know, back to animation.
Sure. Speaking of the media, yeah.
Yes. Speaking, you know what, instead of animation, I do have another question for you.
Please.
Since we were talking about work and going from McDonald's to whatever job, if you could have any job that you want, and we'll scratch dictator off the list because we already know that one.
Oh, fuck.
If you could have any job that you want that's not dictator, what would you choose?
Honestly, dude, the fucking Pistachio girl.
That's noble.
It's the best job, and people, like, when I'm like at work and I'm smiling and I'm happy and I'm laughing, it's not because I'm faking it. It's because I really am. And, like, people will be like, you love your job, don't you? And then, like, I feel like they're being kind of condescending. But I do. I love my job. And it's because I allowed myself to love it. You know, you can choose whether you love your job or not. You can make the best out of any situation. I made the best out of Pistachios to the highest degree. I got a cult following. I got on the media. And, you know, I will say I am privileged to be in the Pistachio job. Not because I'm inherently privileged, because I'm white or something. But it's an amazing job. I get to run it.
You ran into an opportunity, you sunk your teeth into it, and you didn't let go.
You seize. Okay?
Yes.
And I've been slowly seizing, too. Over the past 7 years, I've gained this amazing following. And like I said, they gave me close-ups on Comcast. The announcers talk about me all the time. There was this one clip where this guy, Scooter Jeanette, that's the name of a baseball player. Scooter. Yeah, he was like, he was about to run. He's like, there goes Scooter Jeanette, about to wind up, and he hit a foul ball. And it went right to me. It went in the seat right next to me, and I took it and I picked it up. And they were like, well, if you guys have been wondering about the person who's been singing on the air every night, that's her. Yep. And then they did a real close up on me going down the stairs with my ball, and then they got a shot of me throwing it to some kids, which is good publicity. Great publicity. So then they showed these kids, and I threw it to a little adorable little ginger girl, and she was just like, oh, she was just overjoyed, and she was showing off to her friends. They were patting her on the back, and then they go to me, and I'm just like, you kids. And there you go. That's using an opportunity.
That's mutually beneficial for everybody. Everybody in that situation got something good out of that.
They sure did. That's me. I'm a natural entertainer, and I think that's why I love Donald Trump. That's one of the reasons, is because he's an entertainer too. Oh, yeah, and first and foremost, he's an entertainer. He knows how to get the masses to love him. I mean, why would you consider a politician separate from an entertainer? The the crux of being a politician is to get people to love you.
Well, no, even people like Bill Clinton, though, part of the reason people liked him is because he was an entertainer. Or we'll go back to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, another entertainer. JFK, definitely an entertainer. Entertaining person through and through. Then, you know, some people get in that aren't entertaining, and that's, you know, that is part of how it works. But just because somebody's an entertainer doesn't disqualify them from being a leader. In fact, that actually kind of makes them a really good leader because they can rally the people.
Yep, and part of being a leader is gaining the approval of the masses, and I sure as hell know how to do that. Because, I mean, I've had people... I'm beloved. I just appeared in the paper again, and they referenced my 2011 article, and it was so cute, because I read over the quotes, and I'm like, I sound just like Trump. I sound like a cocky bastard, a cocky, proud person. I was like, see, I'm beloved. Said... And I was like, you know, pistachios. It just sounds better to scream. It's just a more exciting word than peanuts. No offense. Sounds like something. I don't know. It just sounded like the way the canter that I said it just sounded a little bit like Trump.
Well, you know, I learned that doing the Barker gig. I go, no cover. I'd say cover like cover, because if I do cover, no cover, it just doesn't do as well as no cover. It pops. You know what I mean? So you do have to learn those phrases when you're yelling at a bunch of people. If you're going to try to catch the attention of a whole audience, you have to go for that mass appeal. And sometimes that involves picking a word that you wouldn't normally use or altering your voice a little bit. And I adore learning how to do that, because once you can get that earworm into people's heads, to where once they hear it, they perk up and like, yeah, and they look over at you, then you've got them.
And then you get the smiles, and they get their phones out. Oh yeah, I mean it's so easy for me, but I've been doing this for like 7 years, so obviously I'm good at it, interacting with the mob. But you know, baseball is a boring sport a lot of the time.
It's slow.
So I'm glad I can provide that burst of entertainment. I mean, I go down the aisle, and like as soon as I go down the aisle, I'll get people going woo woo, and they're like yeah, and they point at me. I feel like Gaddafi. It's amazing. You know, it makes me feel just as good.
Baseball, from what I've been to a few games, and I've seen what you do. It's definitely a social sport. It's not all about what's going on in the field. It's what's going on in your row, on the aisle, who's coming down with what's going on, who's there. And that's something that I think that'll make that sport endearing for a very long time. But also the
baseball.
Controversy isn't quite as bad. People aren't quite getting concussions. Maybe once in a while somebody will catch a fastball to the face, but they tend to walk it off all right.
Wait, say that again?
Oh, once in a while somebody will catch a fastball to the face, but it's not like the NFL to work. It's like, is everybody getting a concussion? Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe banging your heads together around all day might cause a little bit of self-injury. But, you know, if that's what they want to do, they should be able to do it. What I'm trying to get at, though, is that baseball is a much more social sport than a lot of other sports. And actually, you do see that in soccer, like, you know, football, as they call. Those fans are feverish, and that's because you get like 1 or 2 points a game there. They're running down the field. The audience is interacting with each other. But what you do for the game is you provide another level of entertainment to everybody out there.
Another level of entertainment. Yep, I sure do. And like I've had people follow me around the stadium. This like couple, like, you know, you could tell they were like real wild kids in like the late 70s, early 80s. like an adorable couple who you could like, oh, they're wild. They did parking lot shit with like, you know, what are those bands? AC/DC, you know, they were tailgating. Yeah. They followed me around. They had their drinks. They're like, we've been following you for half of the stadium. You are just the best. We've been so bored because of this game, and you are amazing. And I'm like, God, that's sad. This multi-billion-dollar industry, and here I am being paid, you know, poverty sums, and I'm still surpassing the entertainment level, you know. But that's the beautiful thing. And I think that's the beautiful thing about seizing opportunities and creating your own realities and making the best thing out of the situation.
Yes.
And I proved it again. You know, I can get millionaires to bow down to me. The Mets bowed down to me, dude.
That's some power.
From my singing, we got Mets players going like this. These guys make millions of dollars bowing down to me, dude. And they didn't have to do that.
Well, it's like we said about seizing opportunity. You've done it out there on in the baseball stadium, and you're doing it in animation.
Exactly. I try and make the best out of any scenario. I think it's about applying yourself to the best, and becoming impeccable in the most minute of opportunities. That's the thing. You make your own opportunities. something can come along. I'm just watching this video back. I'm swaying back and forth, but something can come along and be seemingly nothing, but it's about how you extract that, make it into your own.
If you're gonna be a pistachio girl or a barker or a burger flipper, you should strive to be the best goddamn burger flipper out there.
Exactly, and then you're going to get promoted to manager. I mean, with the level of laziness and incompetence in fast food workers, if you do the least bit of leadership, you're going to be up there soon. And, managers of fast food restaurants make a decent sum of money.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing to balk at.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, guys, if this is your only option, just fucking behave yourselves, pull up your pants, and fucking do a good job.
And shit, you get enough experience as a manager at a fast food restaurant, who knows, maybe you'll be managing, Sears or someplace like that pays a little bit more. You get 2 roles of management in your history. It's like, I managed a fast food restaurant, I managed a Sears, now I'm managing maybe not an electric company, but there's something in between there somewhere. It scales up. You gotta work, you gotta build up that resume, you have to show that you can do the job. In fact, these days that matters more than a college education in most areas, because unfortunately a college education's kind of gone to shit these days.
Oh yeah, case in point, I got a fucking art degree. That's the funny thing. Here I am, a red-pilled girl with an art degree. Well, I mean, I've experienced...
You're a fucking unicorn.
Well, I've experienced firsthand. That's one of the reasons why I know, is because it literally doesn't do anything. But the best thing my college degree got me is out of my shitty home. It got me out of Harrisburg, and it got me into Philadelphia, and it got me roots in the city. So yes, college was worth it for me, because I got my feet established, and I got out of my horrible childhood household.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying a college degree is worthless. I'm just saying
that no, I wasn't saying that either.
If college is not an option, don't give up. Building up that work experience, building up that portfolio, building up that work history, that counts a lot. And if you're just going to be content, I'm going to be the shittiest burger flipper because fuck my life, you're not building up anything.
No. But if you go in there and you say, I'm going to be the best burger flipper, I'm going to make the best fucking cheeseburgers, people are going to notice that. Guys, a little bit of effort goes a long way. That's what Rise of Alfred is about. He got promoted to manager of a fast food restaurant, a decrepit fast food restaurant. Now, granted, he was only promoted manager because the old manager had a rabid house toe attack, and we couldn't find a permanent new one, so I'm promoting you to the job.
Opportunity knocks?
That's a direct quote. But anyway, Alfred got sudden and imminent power in the wage slave world. And you know what? He could have been like, oh, whatever, it's fast food. But Alfred had visions of something more. And he envisioned a beautiful reality of glory and power. And drowning his employees in a nacho cheese gulag, He envisioned something more. Now, I'm not saying that cartoon is about the folly of a man. That cartoon is about a man who corrupts with power. That's exactly what happened to Alfred. I'm not saying be like Alfred and purge your employees and trust no one.
He's not a role model. He can be a role model in certain sects, but you know what I mean.
Some personalities of him, yes. But he's a role model because he's like a lot of us, and most of us would corrupt under power. It's extremely hard not to corrupt under power. But I think that's one of the fucked up things is that people tell other people it's a huge thing that power ultimately corrupts. That's part of cultural Marxism. If you get successful, you're going to be corrupt. If you get any sort of money, you're going to be evil. That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard.
Like Gandhi, the most corrupt individual to ever exist in the world. It's like, what? No, it's not how that works. People are people. Everybody has agency. It doesn't matter whether you're a burger flipper or a dictator of the world. If you're a bad burger flipper, you're a bad burger flipper. If you're a bad dictator, you're a bad dictator. That's just the reality of it. I know it's really, really nice to have everything framed off and be, dictator's bad. This word is bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the taco is strong, robust, a prime example of the ideal food. But the hamburger is weak, far inferior to a taco. You know what? That brings me back to my Rise of Alfred days, where basically what I was saying with those quotes is that no one's really inherently stronger or weaker than the other. We're just all disgusting testicle meat in the end.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I gotta admit, You know,
Yeah,
people
that
don't
was-
like that reality, but hey, you know, we're all flesh and bone.
That's
Or
the
as you put it,
black pill.
testicle meat.
Yeah, that's the blackest of pills. I knew it when I was 17. Now I'm more optimistic, and I'm like, oh, you can. But
Well, you have to
you know,
develop your
back then-
optimism. No, people aren't born with optimism or
No,
pessimism.
optimism is very important these days. We need to have more optimism than ever these days.
Well,
But
here's an optimistic thought while I let out a liter of piss. Carlton Banks
you know,
says,
I was actually wanted to pee too.
"You go
but
first, and then
No.
I'll get you back."
What did Carlton say? He's one of my followers.
He
I
said,
do.
"Pistachio pilled."
Oh yeah, take those pistachios, swallow them down. You know, someone tweeted at me. They were like, "It's like she downloaded 4chan on a hard drive and swallowed it." And basically, dude, that's what I've been doing for the past 4 months. Is just been on the news board, scrolling and refreshing and absorbing. And I mean, I have like 2 videos on, and I'm refreshing. So I'll have like a video on and another video on, and I have like 20 tabs open with different articles. That's how much I multitask. And you know, that's when I say you're being lazy, Emily. You're being lazy, Emily. Get back to animation. That's not lazy. I'm fucking figuring out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you have to. If you don't explore all these angles, you never know.
Yeah, and I
Anyhow,
mean,
my bladder will not wait any longer, and I don't want to make yours wait any longer. Entertain the chat for me. I will make this as quick as.
you go first, and I'll entertain, and then I'll do it. I'm sure you have to go worse than me. Go
We'll
ahead.
see.
Anyway, ooh, that's right. Fuck, what was I gonna say? I had a really good point. Fuck. Oh man, I had such a good point. Wait, let me scroll up in the chat. I'm good. I'm glad you like my energy. Fuck, I had a really good point, guys. Sorry. Oh, hi, Attack of the Hank. It's been a long time no see. How are you? Oh, anal cunt. Thoughts on anal cunt. Interesting. I actually do really like anal cunt. I discovered him back in 2009, and I really love this. I love the screaming. They're funny guys. Funny guys. What were we talking about before, though? What the fuck? I don't know. I had a good point. I lost it. Guys, go back in the chat. We had a really good discussion here. It's been over 2 hours of really hard-hitting points. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself tonight. I think I've been hitting some really good points. This is some good fucking wine. Oh! Maybe I'll pull out one of my old Adolf Hitler skits. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh! What happened to my old account? It got hacked. Oh, that's one of the things I wanted to say today, is that my account got hacked by a shill about 2 months ago at the beginning of June, and now here I am, and I've officially surpassed the number of followers I have with my old account. I was at 1,600 when I got hacked. I made a new Twitter. I didn't let it get me down, and now here I am with over 1,600 followers now, and it's just becoming bigger than ever. So there you go, guys. You can rise above any situation. Don't give up. You know, you can just wade through the suffering. You're gonna get to the glory. Okay, I guarantee you. You suffer enough, you're gonna get to the glory, baby. Let me get one of my Hitler skits. I found it! Oh boy, I found one of my Hitler skits from when I was a teenager. May 1st, 2007. Are you back, Hellbent?
Was a lot.
Oh, good. I bet. I remember when you like told me about how much you peed in the bottle the last time, and it was a lot.
Yeah, that was a liter bottle and it overflowed. I think this one was at least 1.5 liters. I'm proud of
Jesus
myself.
fucking Christ. All right, well, I was just about to entertain the kids with one of my Hitler skits from when I was a teenager.
Ooh, I want to witness that, but if you got to take a piss.
No, surprisingly, my bladder is doing pretty well. I know it's been over 2 hours of drinking. Holy shit, it's already 1.
You're a champion. We got some extra time. The time limit is actually 4 hours, but I kind of reel it back to 3 just to be safe, because I'd hate for one of these not to be archived.
Oh no, I would be so pissed off, because we made a lot of good points today.
Oh yeah. I kind of waffle a bit with some of my analogies, but you know, that's just the Hellbent charm.
Waffling, that just happens. Oh, but Hellbent, I think we've done an excellent stream so far. I can't wait till it's archived. Yeah, cut it off at the save point. I want to make sure this gets saved.
Yeah, I'm all with you on that. It's fun to have a discussion in a one-on-one situation with somebody who will disagree with me.
Yay! Okay, well, here's my Hitler skit. May 1st, 2007. Springtime for Hitler in Germany. The camera zooms into a hill like the sound of music with the song playing. A guy comes up on a horse. Adolf bows low and slowly, mocking Adolf. Bonjour, mes amis. Mademoiselle, if you could be so kind. The guy makes the horse bucket Adolf. Adolf, oh, jumping over a stone wall as nimbly as a greyhound. Adolf, Yoo-hoo, mademoiselle, you cannot catch me. They both started, oh wait, there's 2 Adolfs in this. I should probably let you know, there's 2 of them. You cannot catch me. They both start woohooing loudly and ravenously as Hitler gets off his horse. Okay, so there's Adolf and, okay, I'm just reading this back for the first time in a couple years. So there's Adolf and then there's Hitler. Hitler, Doft, silly Adolf, you are silly. Hitler, come on, come, Addy. Let us try und frolic up the hill and pick the wildflower. The wildflower. Adolf, yes, come, let us frolic. Hitler, come, let's. Adolf, come. Let us see if we can pick the Edelweiss. Hitler, let's last one to pick. Oh, last one to pick the Edelweiss is a loosey-goosey. Adolf and Hitler scamper up the hill, hoo-hooing and pushing each other. They throw themselves on the ground at the top. Hitler, look, Eddie, the Edelweiss has grown since last spring. Adolf, playfully. That is why you like it in your hair. He puts the Edelweiss in his hair. This is really gay. Hoo-hooing, Adolf playfully tries to put the Edelweiss in Hitler's hair. And look, I've been writing up a storm, guys. I have notebooks upon notebooks of gold. Hitler, oh, look, it is Frau Stalin. Shows Stalin working on a map at the bottom of the hill. Adolf, let us tease him and see if he wants to play with us. Hitler, calling, Yoo-hoo, Nancy boy. Adolf, Princess Stalin. As Adolf yells, Yoo-hoo, Stalin looks up, flicks them off, and goes back to work. Diligent communist. Adolf, to Adolf, Stalin does not want to play today. Stalin is un grumpy goosling. Adolf, waving white napkin, Yoo-hoo, come play with us or we will tickle you. Hitler, come, Adi, let us strip naked and whip Stalin's Frugengoind with our Uber pants. You liking this so far?
Yeah. I gotta hold back the laughter. Your Hitler voice is amazing.
This is one I would have animated if I had the time. But Adolf, oh, that is one silly idea, Hitler. Hitler, oh, I know. Adolf, come and let's throw off our clothes. Hitler, yes, lots. Hoo-hooing and playfully pushing each other, Hitler and Adolf take off their clothes. Stalin looks up from the bottom of the hill. Stalin, son of a bitch. Adolf, ready or not, Stolly Volley, here we prance. Hitler, you better run, Nancy boy, or we will spank you. They frolic down the hill, underwear in hand, towards Stalin. Stalin gets out a gun and begins shooting at them. They nimbly dodge and yell, hoo-hoo! They're nimble centipede, nimble navigators, it seems. At the last second, Stalin tries to amble away, but he is very slow, and the agile Adolfs, hoo-hooing crazily than ever, jump on top of Stalin and tackle him to the ground. They then tie him up and gag him, laughing all the way. Stalin, pissed off, extremely pissed off, tries to wiggle free as the Adolfs prance around him and take turns whipping his ass. Adolfs, singing in unison. German sons all twirl and prance, we've caught a Stali without no pants. And then it says it repeats. German sons all twirl and prance, we've caught a Stali without no pants. Hitler, you are ours, Stali Wally. Adolf, yes, you are ours now, and we shall defeat you. We shall do what we like with you. Hitler, come, Adi, let us ponder what to do with Stali Wally. Adolf, oh, let's dress him in some frilly woman clothes and put his hair in curls. Hitler, oh, Adi, that is one silly idea. Adolf, Stali Wally Doodle, would you like your hair and pretty locks? Hitler, would you like your hair pretty and feminine, like Wonder Women folk, like Stali Wally Doodle? Stalin, if you call me Stali shit one more time, I will shit in your mouths and shove a broom up your assholes. Hitler reinserts gags. Stali Wally spit out his gag. He must now wear one feminine woman lacy pantyhosen. Adolf, I actually wouldn't mind what he wanted to do to us. He didn't mind it. Don't worry, we're almost to the end, guys.
You're killing me.
Oh my god, I know he's laughing hard because his laugh sounds like 10 times more high-pitched than his regular voice.
Emily, shut it down, alright, honey? This has gone too far.
Oh my god, that was the best Jew voice. Shut it down. Not like Benny. Alright, so anyway. Then it goes into nothing concrete, maybe ideas. So either Adolf and Hitler start getting really horny, they bring Stalin back to the apartment, which is a replica of Will and Grace's, and they always call Stalin Stali Wally Doodle, and never acknowledge that he's a human, and they wash each other, and Stalin must get away. Hitler, oh Adolf, I have a present for you! Adolf sees it, yells, ooh! Clasps his hand to his mouth, jumps back, makes ooh noises. Adolf, oh, it is just what I wanted! Shows loads of sauerkraut with a ribbon on top. 243 kilos und sauerkraut. Oh, Hitler, but how did you know? Hitler, un little bird told me. He tickles Adolf and they both hoo-hoo. Adolf, oh, but what am I possibly going to do with 243 kilos und sauerkraut? Gets extremely loud. You share it with und Jugendfreund? Jugendfreund means youthful friend. Adolf, oh Hitler, you are the Urbanist, mein Jugendfreund. Hitler, well, you, mein Adolf, are my little Uberstrudel Jugendfreund, pokes him in the nose. Stalin throws up, and they hoo-hoo. Hitler, come, Adi, come. Let us make love, und the bountiful supply of sauerkraut. Adolf, yes, let's, in the sauerkraut. Hitler, the sauerkraut. Adolf, I call get pissed on first. And then I guess Stalin attempts to bite his tongue off, so he kills himself.
Oh, that was an experience. Jesus.
What do you think about that?
Emily, I think it was a very, very erotic piece of work you got there. Darling, you're fit for Hollywood. I signed you on my contract here. I get 75%. It's just a small fee.
Mr. Helvin, I didn't know you could do such a good Jew voice.
I didn't either till Sight 10 needed some help. And, you talk about the Torah, my name is Saul Platinumstein.
God damn, I think you found your niche. I think this is amazing. This is one of the best Jew impressions that I've heard. And let me tell you guys, for any of you who want to call me anti-Semitic, I love Jewish people. I love a lot of Jews. Now, I don't like to say I love Jewish people. I love black people. I love Mexican people. No, I don't love any sort of a group in totality. That's racist. I like individuals. And I love many individual Jews. Like Kenny Hotz is my absolute hero. I loved Kenny Hotz like a father for like years, for over 4 years. I've loved Kenny Hotz. And you know what's awesome is that Gavin is good friends with Kenny Hotz, and Gavin was on Kenny Hotz's episode of Kenny versus Spenny, who was the coolest. And I know I watched that episode like back in the day, but I didn't know who Gavin was at the time. And then I found out who Gavin was, and then I realized that Gavin was on the Kenny Hotz episode, and it all came together. And it was fucking amazing, because the best thing is when your heroes like combine with your other heroes from like, and you don't even know, and then you like finally find out that they have like ties to each other. That's like the ultimate.
The hidden dream team.
It is. Kenny, here's what I'm fantasizing about, and I'm really good at getting my fantasies to come true because it's been happening. Gavin on this side, Kenny on that side. They're both telling me that I'm awesome and that they're proud of me. I think I would die a happy girl. Did you know that Gavin told me he was proud of me today?
That's awesome.
Publicly?
That is amazing. I have to say, I feel the same way when I get you on the show, or when Petey shows up, or when I see all these animator people I idolize, because I can never do what you guys do, right? So when I see you people doing that stuff and I get to communicate with you, I'm like, I get to talk to these people who are way tougher than I was when it came to that Wacom tablet. I'm like, I wish I had all that talent. But, being able to hang out with you people is the next best thing.
Oh, yeah. Hanging out is the best. But, Gavin's my hero and Kenny's my hero. And all my stuff today, how I went up and... Oh, when I come back from peeing, we're going to talk about Gawker.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm up for that.
Because that's one of the reasons. Because I got the story, I got in New York Mag, I got in Philly Mag, and Gavin got in Philly Mag too, because they said I was on his show. And I tweeted at him, I'm like, look, I got in Philly Mag, and they mentioned you, Gavin. And then he retweeted it, and he said, proud of my proud boy's girl.
Aww. See, that's what makes a lot of this worthwhile. There's a lot of things that do, but getting the respect of your peers is something that's, it's an indescribable feeling. It's, I guess, similar to how people perceive love and stuff. It's like, I can't explain it. It's so good. This person.
Oh, yeah.
But,
that's when you get an affirmation from somebody that you admire, that's heavily respected in the group that you want to be in, the alt-right, and they say it publicly, and they say that they're publicly proud of you, and they endorse you. I gotta say, there's really not many better feelings.
Mm-hmm. You can't buy that. You know what I mean? You can't slap down $100,000 and get that, because even if you did, it would be like, yeah, I bought that I didn't earn it,
Oh, yeah, and you know what? It could have easily just been a fantasy of mine, because I fantasized about being on Gavin, and I thought to myself, before I even talked to him, I was like, Gavin would like me. Gavin would like me. Kenny would like me. And, a million people think that, and it's not true, and it ends up being false. But when you actually have them get you on their show, retweet it when you upload it, and then when you get in the newspaper, they retweet it and they tell you that they're proud of you, and they call you that you're my Proud Boys girl, because Gavin created the Proud Boys, and the Proud Boys have an offshoot called Proud Girls, basically just nationalists who want to preserve America and aren't ashamed, which is what I am. That's amazingly affirmative. That's the best reward. It's the best.
You can get it in a cheap way. You know what I mean? You can jump on a Tumblr blog and kiss a bunch of ass than get the approval of somebody who does nothing. But when you're out there and you get approval from people who accomplish, who go out and do, it's like a badge of honor. You know what I mean?
Real people. I mean, Gavin founded Vice, and Vice has become a liberal shithole. But that's what I admire so much about him, is because he sold it, and because he knew it was going that way, and now he's completely, preaching his own rhetoric, saying the politically incorrect things, doing his own thing. He's his own boss. And meanwhile, Vice is like in the liberal cultural Marxism hole, and they're failing. And, Gavin's an independent guy. He made himself on his own. And he works for himself. He can say whatever he wants. And that's what I'm doing too. So for him to acknowledge that and to publicly admit it is, I think it's more amazing than I can comprehend.
Well, you got plenty of time to do it, and that's just one of those things to where you can take that energy that he's given to you and apply it to your work and make your work even better. And I feel that's what's happened with a lot of the stuff that I do. When I get people like you on, I want to do more interviews. When I get people like Petey on during the show, I almost want to dabble in animation again. I want to get back into it. And maybe I'll give it a shot, but I think voice acting is kind of my niche right now. And so being able to contribute to your work and Petey's work and other many other people that I'm trying to work with, and I'm probably overextending myself a bit, but it feels great to be able to give back, you know what I mean? And when somebody gives back to you, you just want to keep it going, and you get that mutually beneficial trade going to where your work is good for them and their work is good for you, and everybody benefits, and it's just this it's this great machine that feeds itself in a lot of ways.
Yep. It's a self-rewarding system. That's the beauty of it. And
a real one, not a bullshit one,
Right. And thank you, Mr. Hellbent. Thank you for having me on here now and giving me a platform to say all this great shit.
Oh, it's my honor. It's really just a pleasure to get somebody like you who went through what I couldn't do. I handle some stuff that's a lot of people can't do. I run my own business, you know what I mean?
You run a bar. You run your own bar. You run your own voice acting business.
Oh.
You're your own entity. You have 10,000 followers.
But that being said, through all of that, I still couldn't be an animator. So when I get people like you on, I see somebody who went through something that I wasn't tough enough to do. And when I get respect from somebody who could do what I couldn't do, it's not me accomplishing the thing, but I can't explain it. It's like you said.
Well, I can't do what you do either. I'm not a voice actor. I can voice my own things, but I think I have a very distinct nasally voice, and I don't know but you have a really distinct manly voice.
Hey, it took me a long time to learn this voice here.
Yes, is that your natural voice, Hellbent? Let me guess. Yeah. You're a Jew.
Anytime I go to the bank, I use this voice. They don't appreciate it much,
so I had to talk like this.
Oy vey, shut
it down. Get it out of here. God.
You're such a good Jew, Hellbent. I'm getting aroused here. You sound a little like Ben Shapiro. And let me tell you, Ben Shapiro is a fucking hottie cutie. God, the things I would do to Ben Shapiro. Oh my God.
Well, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. I don't hold any biases, but
I would destroy Benny. In the best way possible. I'm crushing on Benny like I did Trotsky back in the day, and they kind of remind me like the same person, because, Trotsky most definitely had a little high-pitched Jewish nasally voice, and, he was high-strung like Benny. Benny is so fucking cute. All right, you know what, Mr. Hellbent? Before I get too aroused, I need to take a pee-pee.
You go ahead and take care of that. I'll take care of the chat, and we'll do a Q&A.
Keep him in line. Yeah.
So everybody, get your questions together, because we're going to answer them. And that's going to be the end of the show after that. So everybody who stuck around for this long, we're going to give you a nice little reward of conversation. And I appreciate it. This interview's been really fun. It's nice to be able to cut loose, you know what I mean? And that's what I go into when I say, if somebody's not on your side of an argument, definitely listen to them. Have a debate. Don't cut people off. You can have such a damn good time. It's one thing when somebody disagrees with you and they're obviously wrong. Like, say somebody says,
alcohol's bad for you all the time. You should never drink ever.
It's like, no, that person's full of shit. They wouldn't know a good time if it fucked them in the ass. But to have an argument with them isn't a bad thing. You can have a debate. Maybe they'll tell you something that's bad about alcohol that you didn't realize, you know, and maybe you'll convince them that alcohol is good sometimes. You can't complain about these people who won't change their minds on anything if you're not willing to change their mind. If you're just going to cut them off, you have to be able to be accessible. And if you don't want to be accessible, then you're just stuck in your ways. You're just stuck there. So any questions you got, now's a good time to ask them.
Hey, Hellbent, would you mind if I go take a little smoke break real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to round up some questions here, and then we'll do a Q&A, then we'll...
Gotcha. Cool, awesome. Wait, Lady Butt said, is it true that Emily is actually doing a movie? Yes. I thought I made this quite clear. Yes, I'm making a movie.
Lady Butt's new to Emily Youcis, so this is her introduction.
Oh, good. Well, I love new people, so... Good. Yes, I'm making a movie. I am that insane. I'm doing it all by myself. You can do anything, guys. If you have the gumption... If you have the motivation, and if you have the drive, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm making a whole movie by myself. I don't care what the fuck anybody else says. I'm gonna go take a smoke break.
Alright, we'll be right here.
Alright.
So, chat, round up your questions, and I'll round up some answers. Emily will be right back. We'll answer what you got, and we'll have a good time. And I really appreciate everybody for sticking with the stream this long. Interviews are a new thing. I'm glad I got Emily on because she's a very verbose individual. And having somebody like her with that much energy makes my job a lot easier, for one. But for two, she's the first animator I reached out to that actually got back to me. And I thought that was just amazing. She had no reason to respond back to me, you know what I mean? So you get in that mood to where you think, this person will never talk to me, I'll never get this job, blah, blah, blah. You know, we've been over it before through this entire stream. But if you really reach out there, you can get what you want. Not all the time. But sometimes you can, and it can lead to great things. I met Pika Petey through Emily Youcis. I met Moo through Pika Petey. You know, it goes down the line. So you should always reach out, but I will give you a bit of advice. If you do that, respect the other person just a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, don't tell them, you're my friend now we are friends. No, yet. You tell them why you respect them, why you like them, and then, you know, try to start a conversation. It's, you know, respect is key. Let's see. Lots of nice questions here. Don't worry about repeating them. I'm scrolling up, and I'm going to start from the first good question that I see. And I'm just going to be slowly scrolling down. So if you repeat a question, I'm going to see it like 3 or 4 times. All right? Also, don't piss off Pandora. She's my sweetheart. And I will come down on you like a fucking freight train. Pro tip. So, let's see. If there's any questions just for me... Please, if you're going to continue asking questions, please get some Emily questions in here. I'm reading back, so if you ask Hellbent only questions now, the chances of not hearing it are pretty high. Extreminendo 15 says, you have good beer, Hellbent? Yeah, you know what? As far as beer goes, I'm not really a connoisseur, but... Shinerbach's pretty good. I'll even have a Budweiser once in a while. You know, Budweiser's not bad. It's just, if you want something cheap that'll do the trick, it's there for you. You know, there's a place for all beers, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to liquor, on the other hand, I will not drink rot gut. In fact, even mid-shelf stuff's not quite to my taste. So, you know, like a Jack Daniels, yeah, if I have to, but I'd rather have like a 40 Creek or a Johnny Walker Black, you know, on up there. See. Techhead Girl 105 asked, hey Hellbent, I was wondering if you knew any good Texan facts for somebody who knows nothing about the south part of America, like common slangs and other things. Just say y'all a bunch. If you pop out a y'all, you'll fit right in. It's pretty simple. We're simple people with complex problems. Let's see. Pedro the Panda 64 asks, what do you think of blender babies as a business idea? I guess you could get repeat customers, but honestly, I have no idea what that means at all. I guess babies in a blender, probably a lawsuit waiting to happen. Blabba Clay, who is a Clay stop motion animator, asks, what kind of animation style movement do you like best and why? I guess, independent 2D animation because you see them explore things a lot. You know, like when it comes down to the not factory made, but you know what I mean. When it comes down to stuff like The Simpsons and Family Guy, it's all very formulaic, so you're never too surprised at what Peter or Homer does these days. But when you watch Hellbenders or you watch anything that the Planet Dolan crew make, you know, wink wink, or Alfred Alfer or Pika Petey or any of these talented animators, they can surprise you. They can come out and just do something that you never thought they would do, never see an animated character do. And that makes it a lot more exciting to watch because something might happen, you know what I mean? Atheist Velociraptor says, how do you have that same voice 24/7? Seriously, I'm confused now. A human can have a voice like that. I don't know, natural. Some talents are natural. So yeah, not everybody's born equal. Some people have different voices. Some people are taller. Some people are shorter. That's life. The T-Shock to Squid said, I had rum when I was 6. It was nice. You have really good parents. Carlton Banks says, can I fill her full of my pistachio ice cream? I don't know, can you? Do it, pussy. Moo asked to Emily, and I'll get back to her on it. What do you think about the war on marijuana? Personally, I think it's just a load of shit. It's just a way to help control people, you know. If you make a bunch of little rules that are really easy to break, you can get a lot of money out of the populace, and that's just one of the ways to do it. Marijuana is very tempting. It's easy to grow. It's good. So, yeah, that's a thing. Of course, alcohol, those are processed alcohol. So it's a lot easier to regulate. You know, you can make it in your basement, but you probably don't want to. To our pots, you can just grow your own plant, right? So, one, they can't corner the market very easily, and 2, it's just an easy thing to catch people for. Corey the Legend asked, will you ever do another stream with Emily? Yep, when she has time. You know, I try to get as many people as I can to have repeat appearances on here, but I try not to pester people too much, you know what I mean? Like, that goes into being a go-getter. If you don't ask people, they don't know that you want them around. So you have to let people know that they're appreciated and you want them in. If you just sit there expecting, well, I had them on once, so, you know, if they want to come on again, they'll tell me, then they'll never come back on because they'll think, oh, I did it once, and nah, I never got a call back. So yeah, there's a lot of people I need to get back to in that regard. Surasaki says or asks, Hellbent, your remarks about suffering to work, expressing your work, and trying to understand what you want to do is amazing. So my question is, have you ever suffered it, and how has it benefited you? Yeah, I've suffered, and it hasn't always benefited me, but the way that it's most benefited me is that I've learned how to suffer. I've learned how to take the slings and arrows that life has to provide and how to get by it. It makes you tougher. Some things don't. You know, I learned that picking fights all the time, or not picking fights, but there's some fights that you don't want to stop because it's not worth it. And then there are some fights that you can't stop, so it is worth it. It's, you learn risk judgment, I guess is the best way to put it. It's easier to learn what's too much of a risk and what isn't, what you can do and what you can't do. And that's a very important thing to know. So suffering does teach you your limits, I guess is the best way to put it. And you need to know your limits. It's good to try to exceed your limits, but if you do it too often and constantly try to outdo yourself and constantly put yourself in harm's way, only misery awaits. Like, I don't even think luck factors into that. I think you will just be a miserable person. Don't worry, Moo, I didn't forget your question. Hey, welcome back.
I know the people in the stream can't see me that I'm back yet, but
it'll take them a minute. So, Moo had a question. I already answered it, but I'd like to get your opinion on it, too. Yeah. Emily, what do you think about the war on marijuana? I figured you'd like that one.
Well, despite the fact that I think people are degenerate, lazy stoners, I am a stoner. I am a degenerate, lazy stoner. Because I just got stoned. Look, I'm all stony baloney now. I'm all relaxed. Good. I was getting a little too hyper there. Holy shit, I was about to break the chair.
Well, I will say one thing. I think everything does need to be regulated to a degree.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let me tell you. I feel the way about the marijuana thing the same way Milo feels about gay marriage.
Interesting.
Which is, we should not have weed regulated by the government. We should keep our last bastion of free plant drugs out of the government's hands, and we should monitor it on our own. Decriminalization, yes. Let's decriminalize it. But legalizing it to the point of setting up shops and letting the government breed it, I think that's a little fishy. I like it being backhanded, honestly. And it's like, you can't get in trouble for it. If it's decriminalized, then you can just sell it yourselves. If you really want to help the people and you really want to boost marijuana economic growth, you should keep it out of the government's hands so the people can sell it themselves and create their own form of money.
Yeah, I like that. Of course, I think the problem with that is that anybody can grow it. So then you run into the problem of, well, no, that is good because then again, it doesn't inspire corporations.
You can grow your own, baby. Yeah, grow your fucking own. That's what it should be.
Not only grow your own, but it encourage not government, but corporate research, and they may be able to develop better strains, better plants.
Well, that's true too, but when they say better, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, that's also a thing. Better could mean they just sprayed it down with some bullshit.
Oh yeah, they spray everything else down with bullshit. It could be some crazy GMO weed. I would rather have the government keep their hands off of it altogether. Just like Milo says that gay marriage is funner or gay relationships are funner when it's not sanctioned, when it's a fringe society, and when it's, you gotta keep it hidden.
Well,
and
I'm not the smartest person out there.
And then you don't have to worry about the pressure of marriage. Isn't that beautiful?
But if somebody had some crazy GMO weed, I'd smoke the shit out of it.
Yeah, I would too, but I would recognize if it fucked me up or not.
That's a good point.
In a bad way.
Yeah, if you start growing weeds out of your lungs, not great.
I mean, weed can do anything to you.
Yeah, it affects everybody differently too, so it's not for everybody. That's important to remember.
For me, man, I smoke weed all the time. I just came back from smoking, but I've been cutting back.
I quit a year and a half ago.
I've been cutting back. You did? Really?
It wasn't by choice. Unfortunately, it just became too dangerous to continue using it, so I had to make a decision. Not to mention it meant more money in my pocket, so that's, it's not a complete negative. Unfortunately, a year and a half, and I'm still not to the point where, I don't want to join it all. If somebody held a joint on for me, like, oh, fuck yeah,
Oh, so you would smoke my joint so fast if I brought it.
I'd fucking burn that fucker down.
Just head thing. It has to be like perfectly on my skull, or I can't take it. I switched out my my teeth grinding for headphone readjusting.
Well, speaking of potential intoxicants or just fun times, Harley Smith asks, "What's your favorite drink?"
Harley Smith. That sounds like Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
She didn't specify an alcoholic drink or not. But I'll answer.
Choice: energy drink, alcoholic drink.
As far as an alcoholic drink goes, I enjoy a nice glass of red wine. That's what I'm doing right now.
Classy.
This wine was sent to me from Bill Zwang. Shout out to Mr. Billy, a good friend of mine who lives in Bangladesh and China. And he's a donator, a good patron to the Alfred Alfer movie. So this glass is for you, Billy. God bless you. You helped fund this great conversation, so thank you.
Alcohol is a good icebreaker, at least with the right people. Emoji World says, "Hi, Emily. I have the same kitty headphones as you."
Oh.
Emoji World's great. Real talented kid.
Oh, what does he do? Draw? Animate?
Yeah, Emoji's a very, very talented illustrator who I bought a tablet for because I couldn't stand to see somebody draw so well on a cell phone. Like,
what?
Yeah, it's mind blowing. When I see her, I feel like, wow, I sucked at that age. She's got real talent.
Wait a minute. This girl has been drawing on a cell phone?
Mm-hmm. And I'll show some of it to you down the line, but it's amazing. I highly suggest following her on Twitter.
Send me a pic. Because listen, I drew on a ball mouse, but drawing on a cell phone.
Oh yeah, she did my Twitter header actually.
Well, I guess it depends on the kind of cell phone. I hope it's not a flip phone. If it is, then you're a genius.
Oh, geez, no, it's a different type of one.
I mean, is it a cell phone or an iPad?
Oh no, a literal cell phone, like a
Oh my
Galaxy.
God. That's innovative. That's genius.
Yeah, if you check out my Twitter, she did the header. Now this is a post cell phone on her tablet, but amazing talent. It's great to see somebody that young so talented.
Oh, that's great to see. How young is he? How old is she?
I don't talk about people's age, but we'll just put it this way: she's a good student.
She's a teenager.
We'll say that.
Oh,
I'll let you know later down the line because I don't know if she's comfortable with it or not. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, if you are, I started animating when I was a teenager, and there's no better time to start animating. Let me tell you, that's the best time. Best to start your talents young. Get them ripened by the time you're in your mid-20s. And then suddenly you realize how imminent everything is. And you're like, well, I guess I already have 10 years down the belt, so I probably can't go too wrong, right?
Ooh, here's one for you, Emily. John Larson asks, could you talk about the Alfred Alfer mixtapes?
Oh, the Alfred Alfer mixtapes. Well, I wonder what he wants to know specifically.
Well, let us know what you want to know specifically, buddy.
Come on, say it. Spit it out.
It'll take him a minute, so
Spit it out. Spit it out.
we'll go forward to that. While we wait for that, I just want to mention to chat, we're gonna raid a super close friend of ours at the end of this. And what a raid is, for in case you don't know, Emily, that's when at the end of a stream you send all of your traffic to somebody else, and you raid their stream, and all of a sudden they get a boost, and it's like, where the fuck are these people coming from? It's a fun way to share the love. But let's see.
Gosh. I just saw this girl's line, Marshmallow Bab. Those lines are amazing for not a phone and a phone.
Yeah, she's a clean artist. It blew my mind away. In fact, that's how she got a job with Danger Dolan. She did fan art. And she blew us away so much that now she officially works for the channel and does illustrations for the story videos we do.
Oh my god! Yes.
So again, success story, effort, you work,
Yes!
And she wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth or anything like that. She earned it.
Exactly. There you go. Case in point. Listen, babe. I'm looking at your lines now. They look great. Listen, that's the story we want to hear. That's the story we want to fucking hear. When you see someone doing something extraordinary with nothing, I mean, come on. Think of how much this girl could have used her exploitation pity strategies. She could have been a master manipulator. I only have a cell phone. Give me money for a tablet. Boo. No, this girl fucking drew on her cell phone. Did she even have a stylist?
No, she's self-taught. Like, she learned a bit from. Oh, a stylist? Yeah, I'm sure she had a stylist, but I got a feeling that at her level, she probably used her finger a bit too.
Oh my god, that is what I'm talking about. A finger? Listen, from age 14 until 19, I animated with a ball mouse.
Whew.
I didn't have. I used a ball mouse. This isn't even a ball mouse. This is a light mouse.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the gunk that would build up on that thing. Oh, those are a nightmare.
Does anybody remember ball mouses? Or are y'all too young?
Oh boy, that's going back. We're old.
But this is the beauty of it. I finally got a tablet. And after I kept animating, I got a fucking tablet. And it was a city tablet. It was a Babu Fun, but I still got it. And that improved it. And you know what it really did? It just made me lazier, because then I'm like, I have a tablet now. I don't have to work as hard.
That's half of what I was afraid of. I'm going to get her the tablet, and all of a sudden she's going to settle for less. But no, she's still getting it better and better and better.
Oh, yeah. I'm just kidding, of course. You're going to get better regardless. If you keep going and going, you're going to get better.
Yeah, that's how you get my attention anyway. She drew stuff that people would pay hundreds in commissions for. So I'm getting all this art that people would like, literally, we'll say thousands of dollars worth of art that she's just dumping on me. It's like, I really like what you're doing. I'm like, that's too cool. Ladybot's also a talented artist who we need to work with later down the road, but we'll get into that. I'm starting to go too far. I just wanted to give Ladybot a shout out.
Anyway, that's Ladybot? Anyway, listen. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear. Okay? Because that's what I call an investment. If you do something for free and they like it and you're good, there you go, baby. Work. Mm-hmm. That's what I've been doing. That's how we should get to Gawker. You want to get to Gawker?
Okay, we'll do Gawker, then a couple more questions, and then we're running up on the time limit, so...
Give me another question.
Okay, another question. Let's see.
Do it.
Okay, here's a fun one from Carlton Banks.
Oh, yeah, Carlton.
This is an offensive question. I love it. What group would you purge from society if you could?
That's a great one. That's a great one. I'm glad you asked that. I was waiting for one. I have the answer. Oh, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. I have to think of something that's not so.
Well,
what?
I'll go first. The people I would purge are authoritarians.
Bingo. I agree. That's the kind that I'm abolishing too. Guess what kind?
Which ones?
Who's so authoritative? Who is the authoritative power these days? Who? Tell me, Mr. Bent.
Oh, the authoritative power. I'd say the media, honestly.
Bingo. They're the ones that are voting with Hillary, and she's still losing. You can't fake a charm, baby. You can't abuse people into having charm. Wait, actually, I think you can, but there's a limit.
The internet's kind of broken that down now. There's seeps in the lies, you know what I mean? When you have full control over what people see and hear, sure, but not these days. And even when they try to get their tentacles in the internet, such as Gawker, things can fall apart very easily, especially when it's just allowed to run rampant and they think that they're infallible, unstoppable.
They're gods.
Yeah. So what about Gawker?
Oh, well, I made the New York Magazine. I made NewYorkMag.com. That sounds pretty legitimate, right?
Yeah, NewYorkMag.com?
Oh, yeah. Here, let me pull it up.
To be
pull
honest,
it up right now.
I don't... Okay, let's see. I don't deal that much in media, but... New York Mag.
I guess I do. Type in New York Mag and Denton. And then there's one that says Muted Celebration and Gamergate Heckler. Third one down for me. Guess who's the Gamergate Heckler?
Oh, gee. okay. Nick Denton, huh?
You know what? Listen. I should explain it. I should explain the scenario because I didn't know who the fuck they were either. I got this assignment like a day before this party at like 2 a.m. from Mike Cernovich. And he met me from Breitbart because I was on his Periscope because I found him on Periscope because I was down at the DNC and I was Periscoping because I wanted to record the happenings. I wanted to record all the crusties. And you know I've been documenting the crusties for years, right, Hellbent?
Yeah.
And now we have a new name for them. Now we know what they are. They're just Bernie Bro commies. And that's what I knew before, but I didn't know they would be so rampant. And let me tell you, they all came out at the DNC. Listen, I love crusties are good people, but you can't rely on the government. You can't rely on other people. You need to fucking fend for yourselves. They claim that they want to be independent, and then they want socialism. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a contradiction, and when people deal in contradictions and they believe them, it's pretty dangerous, in my opinion.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to warn about. That's what the liberals do.
Yeah, you don't want to abandon all logic because then you're a puppet at that point. Anybody who wants to use you are using you. It looks like chat is very eager to raid, so I'm going to do...
What do they mean, raid?
We're gonna raid our friend Pringle. And
what does that mean? Like a good raid, or are you gonna?
That's a good raid. We're gonna go raid his Twitch and give him give him a extra boost in his audience that he may not be expecting. So it's all about sharing the love, and we're coming close on the limit anyways. So
yes, yeah. Let's wrap it up a little bit. We'll wrap up, and then we'll save this, and then we'll do part 2.
We will have to do part 2 on another day.
Oh, no.
Yep, I have a due date tomorrow that I have to hit, absolutely. But I would love to continue this conversation on a later date, if that's all right with you.
Sure. Oh, man, I could just keep talking and gawking. I didn't even get to the meat of it. So hold on.
Let's get to the meat of it, and then once we're done with that, we'll raid Pringle. How's that sound?
Yes, we'll do that. I'll say my last words.
Last words for now. We'll get you back later.
The reason why I was blowing up. I've been blowing up. So, The DNC is in Philadelphia, the Democratic National Convention. And I went and I periscoped there and I sold my DVDs. And I was documenting the burnout. And anyway, I got on Breitbart, and then I got on Gavin, and then I got on Mike Cernovich. I was on his Periscope. And then Mike Cernovich asked me to do an interview, or an assignment up in New York. They were like, come tackle the Gawker party. I'm like, what the fuck is Gawker? What is this? I had no idea. Confession.
Ooh, they're a nasty company.
That's why I should explain it, because I didn't know who the fuck they were. You know the Hulk Hogan sex tape?
Yeah, they published that, and they're like, this is important media for people, when it wasn't. That was a private matter. Ugh.
Yeah, I think it's a little fucked up releasing a sex tape.
And they also outing gay people and stuff like that.
People by making up stories and ruining people's lives for no reason. Olivia Munn parodied me as a retarded person in 2010.
Really? Now what's the story behind that?
Well, shit, this fucking headphones have been fucking with me all night. Yeah.
No, I understand. I don't like headphones. I do all my voice acting with them off because they jiggle around in my head. It drives me nuts.
That's okay. I'm just stoned.
It's all right. I wish I was. But, yeah.
I always have a fixation, you know. I'm an obsessive. I am an addict. I'm a fucking workaholic. I'm not addicted to drugs. I'm addicted to work.
Well, you know, like I said, the endorphin boost that you get from a good day's of work, you can't replace that with any drug.
Yeah. I'm addicted to glory. Sorry. I'm addicted to glory.
Glory is a good feeling.
More than anything. I'm addicted to notoriety. I've been thirsting at it for years.
Everybody does, but few attain it. Few people really get a grip on it and just, grab that bull by the horns and ride it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you gotta get the bull and you gotta ride it. The time is running out. You gotta seize. You gotta seize power. Seize power! Like Gaddafi. You gotta take a coup. You know? I've always made cartoons about Alfred seizing power. What about me?
Well, again, you got to think about yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to do things for yourself. You got to be an independent spirit. If you're not an independent spirit, then you do lose out on a lot of opportunity, and you can't be that person who has power. Not unless you're not with a bunch of caveats, lots of strings on your arms. You know what I mean? You become a puppet, and that's not power. That's the illusion of power.
Well, yeah, that's why you got to work for yourself. And that's what I do. I work for my fucking self, baby.
Working for yourself is a great thing, but it's a huge responsibility being your own boss.
Hey, you know what? The pay is all neutral. Hey, you want socialism? Work for yourself. Then you divide all the pay.
Yeah, nothing gets more equal than just a single person.
That's right. But then you don't even get to start what's going on in my mind.
Yeah, isolation can be equally bad.
I gotta deal with the person in here. I gotta deal with my own boss. Oh, Emily, you fucking sack of shit. Get to work, you lazy bitch. Go seize power, man. Well, I'm doing it. And I proved to myself. And I didn't think I was gonna do it. I said, God, Emily, you gotta work harder. You gotta fucking take action, baby. And the times are limited. The times are limited. We only have 3 months till the election. If it's not this summer, when the fuck is it going to be? This is the crucial election. Do I want to wait around till Hillary Clinton is president?
Well, then you're too late, aren't you?
Yeah, then we're in for 8 years of Hillary, baby. 8 years of that fucking cunt. 8 years of that hole. Hillary, it'll be a dictatorship because everyone knows she sucks. The internet is rampant. We can spread more anti-Hillary propaganda than ever. She's probably gonna die. She has Parkinson's disease. You know, Hillary's health is trending. No one wants to has a sick president. And Donald Trump can run on 4 hours of sleep a night while eating fast food at McDonald's, regular American food. And he fucking still does it. That's what I love about Donald Trump, is that he beats all odds.
Well, you gotta love an underdog, you know what I mean? He went into the Republican primaries thinking, oh, no, never, 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 never. Oh, he's still not, though. No, he's not, though. Seriously, he's not. No, don't vote for him. Stop. No, get rid of it. He's a plant by Hitler. Blah, 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 you know.
That's the media trying to kill him. That's why he is the underdog. That's what these people don't get. They think that he's the person on top. He couldn't be the opposite. He's the underdog. He's the one who's doing it for the people. The media hates him. Why would the media be attacking him like this? Why would PolitiFact be lying like that if it wasn't for the fact that he wasn't on their side?
Well, you know, those questions have answers, and unfortunately, I think it's a bit too much for at the time limit that we're at right now, Emily.
Are we at the time limit? God, you know, I could just go on and
we're
on.
We're getting there, and I would love to go on and on. If I didn't have a deadline tomorrow, I'd say let's do another 3 hours. But
I totally understand. Listen, you know, I can get carried away.
But we both can.
It'll be up on stream, so we can watch it again and again and again.
Preserved for as long as the internet's alive, and maybe then some, since I do archive these, just in case. You never know who gets angry at things.
Please do. Please send a copy to me, because listen, this is the only way I'm going to keep living on. I'm immortal. You know, no, I'm not. I am immortal, not immortal.
Right.
I'm immortal. I'm going to die soon. Not that soon, but in the grand scheme of things, yes.
Oh, we're all going to die, so yeah, you gotta come to terms with that. And what am I going to do with my life?
Gotta seize. Well, I know what I was gonna do with my life for a while now, so I'm fortunate. But you create your own fortune, baby. Don't wait till someone comes and gives it to you. You make your own fortune. That's what I hope you guys came through with today. You can do anything you want to do. You just gotta have that gumption.
Well, I think gumption is actually a great place to end it, because gumption is really at the heart of everything that we've been talking about tonight.
Forrest Gump. Chin.
Gump it.
Gump chin. Listen. If I can do it, you can too. I defeated all odds. You know, people told me I should have. You know how many people told me they thought I would have died? They thought I would have got on drugs. They thought I would have gotten hit by a train. Most people on the internet thought I was gonna like crash and burn. Burn, baby, burn. They told me that, man. They thought I was like on drugs and gonna die. And that's what the doctor told me, too. But now here I am, baby. Making animated cartoons and getting on Gavin McGuine's.
Yep, don't let society stop you from succeeding, because they'll try. They will.
And I'm saying, man, I'm not on any medication or anything.
Nope, and that's the best thing. You need to know who you are and be who you are and have the gumption to do what you want to do. It's not impossible. Sometimes you have to make concessions. Sometimes things don't go the way you want. There's always something else down the line. I didn't become an animator. I became a voice actor. You know, Emily wanted to be an animator. She became an animator. Moji started drawing. She became an artist for the people that she liked. There's a lot that goes into it, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to gumption. You have to have gumption. And that being said, we are so close to the time limit.
Let's do it. Let's cut it off.
Okay, we'll save it. Cut it now. Everybody.
Because if we lost this, I would be so mad.
Oh, no, we're not going to lose it.
Save it.
Everybody, rate it. Pringle the One. Twitch TV/Pringle the One. It's in chat. We're getting them right now. We're going to bump them up. We're going to go get them. Having that gumption.
Bump them up, baby. Bump them up. Get them. You can do it, guys. You can overcome any adversity.
Yep, and it always helps to have a good friend to help you. So we're going to give Pringle a helping hand, and we're going to end it here. Thanks for being on my show, Emily. This is the first interview I've ever done. I think it's a massive success. We're definitely going to get you on again. Absolutely. I'm going to enjoy this one. I'm going to archive it immediately.
Please, I'm so excited to watch it back. It was a great interview.
Yeah, this is fun.
We're going to do it again. We'll do it again.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me on, Mr. Hellbent.
Oh, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure having you on. And again, we'll get you on again. We have to, because we've got so much more we can talk about.
Oh, yeah, we can go on and on. But thank you, because I need a good platform to talk hours and hours.
Well, if nothing else, I'm proud to share a platform with somebody who actually gets out there and gets work done.
All right, guys, and go check out my new trailer, the Alfred Alfer mega movie trailer. It's on my channel.
Yep, I've linked your channel and your Twitter in the description. Everybody, check out the description. You can go check out Emily. She has an amazing display of animation on her channel. Her Twitter feed's fun as fuck. Follow her, subscribe to her, watch her stuff. It's awesome. It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge. I'm telling you. It's
Oh.
gonna be.
All right, now we absolutely have to end it. So everybody,
All right,
Emily, everyone, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.
Thank you.